And welcome in, everybody. Welcome to Underground Crypto. Let me get us to the right place here. I love when it doesn't start on the right thing. All right, how's that for the beginning of the show? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Underground Crypto. Today we are going to be going over the Optimism Superchain ecosystem as soon as my computer decides to cooperate. It's always something, guys. You just get used to it. It is what it is. Shout out to that one guy, Mr. Bankroll in the house. Shout out to Melissa, Blues Guy, Cam Stuff, he's in here. Shout out to everybody who's part of this group. Legit, I don't know why it's not screen capturing. I have it up, it should be up. It's always something, right? It's always something. We had a nice long stretch with like pretty much no issues. All right, so trading view works. And then now crypto bubble works. All right, so it was just a technical glitch, everybody. Nothing crazy. And we can get right into it. Yes, Melissa, my screen is black. That's what I was trying to fix right now. But now we're good. Now we're ready to go. Let's just pretend like that never happened. Can we do that? Can we all just pretend like that never happened? All right. So the crypto bubbles say 1 through 100. Canton Network getting another 17.7%, up 63.8% on the weekly. Leo up 6.6%. That's not that exciting. 2Z, I haven't heard about 00 in a while. It's up 13.3% in the week, 7.6% on the day. IP or Story, 5.4% on the day, 9.5% on the week. It's all about IP. Pump.fun, 5.7% or 11% on the week. SPX even getting a little bit of pump. All right, let's drop down another 100 and take a look at that 100 to 200, right? We got Go Mining, Chili's, Stables, Monad, XPL up 10%. Kimono or Camino. I'm not familiar with that one. It's up 9.8%. Maybe we'll be going over that today. Nothing else really big here. Walrus, which is a SWE ecosystem project, up 8.3%. It was up to as high as 13.5 cents. Now it's like 12.5 cents. So let's pull back a little bit. And we'll drop one more 100. We don't usually go past 200 to 300 by market cap. You got Recall, Polyx, or Polymesh, Form, also 4. Very weird how they do that. The name of the project in the ticker are a little bit different. You got Coca. Yeah, and this education open campus. This was on our radar, I don't know, a month ago. I haven't heard anything about it since then. Anyways, let's hop over to CoinGecko, do a rundown of our numbers as they look a lot better and a lot more green here than it was yesterday. So Bitcoin's coming in at $88,561, up 1.7% in the last 24 hours. For Bitcoin, that's not too bad, right? We just want to see it continue. We're still above 3 trillion for the overall market cap. I mean, it even tells you 19,000 coins, how many exchanges, 1,444 exchanges, right? That's a lot of exchanges. Ethereum, 2,976. Can it just break that 3,000 number and hold it? Did it break 3,000? It's so close. It's got me wondering here. Let's get out of market cap. Go back to price. And we're going to be getting into what is trending today and Optimism, right? Optimism Superchain. A little bit of background, knowledge about Optimism and all of that good stuff. I'm just trying to see if did we break No, we didn't break 3,000. We got close. 2,997. That's really close, but not quite break that 3,000. And we definitely didn't hold it. Anyways, ETH up a cool 1.6% today. Let's see what we got going on here in the chat. No Blues guy yet. He's probably on his way home. Nice to see you. Nice, you go live, and now we get the pump. Hey, sometimes it just be working out like that. BNB, $861. XRP, $1.88. Love to see us getting a nice pump, a 1.8% pump today. Solana, $125. Dogecoin, 12 cents. Cardano, 35 cents. Chainlink, $12.42. Who out there is holding some Chainlink right now? I think Melissa maybe has some Chainlink. Zcash, $530. Monero, $438. XLM, 21 cents. Hyperliquid, $26. Canton Network is coming up in the game. You didn't normally see that here, and it is up 18.4% in the last 24 hours. It's at 14 cents. Avalanche, $12.67. SWE, $1.45, up 1.3%, kind of in line with everything else. And let's go see if we can find that Flare. Did Flare get some Flare and some pump? Well, it didn't get into the top 100s, but let's see where it's at. It was at 105. Yep, still at 105 here. Down 4.2% in the last 7 days. Let's go to our highlights where we come up with our what is trending. But before we get a little bit too lost in what is trending, we're going to talk about the origins of optimism, right? So before we go too far into the ecosystem of optimism, right, we're going to talk about the origins. And I see Melissa says I am. I knew you were holding some Chainlink. See, my memory does me good every once in a while. All right. So Optimism began as one of Ethereum's earliest serious attempts at layer 2 scaling using optimistic rollups. So right off the bat, that first sentence, couple good takeaways here. One, people think of Polygon when they think of layer 2s when it comes to Ethereum. Optimism was first, right? It was the first serious attempt. Now, as we read more into this, we can see if they kind of stayed with that idea or if they moved on, but they were using optimistic rollups, right? So if they were one of the first early attempts at a layer 2 on Ethereum and they were using optimistic rollups, what does that tell you about optimistic rollups? That they're an earlier idea or they're an earlier technology, right? They're not ZK rollups. ZK rollups came after optimistic rollups. That's really the point that I wanted to make there. So the core problem is it set out to solve Ethereum's limited throughput, high transaction costs, and congestion during periods of demand. The idea was to move computation off Ethereum while preserving Ethereum's security guarantee. And we're going to come back to that. I just wanted to tease it and also throw it out there what we're going on, what we're going over today. Lighter is one of those things that was heavily anticipated. From my knowledge, it was getting some sale on Mexi. I don't know. Could you buy it anywhere else? Is Lighter even available on Coinbase at all? Looks like it was as high as $8, almost $8. Let's see. Yeah, $7.86. And what? That says that was about 17 hours ago? Is that true? All-time high was 17 hours ago? Is that real? Oh, I'm on the 24 hours, so yeah, it must be, right? See, that's where it's confusing, right? Because, like, you come over here on the 24-hour chart, and it says it has this crazy wick up to $7.86. But then when you go to the max chart of the whole thing, it says as high it's ever been is $3.37. So I don't know if that was some kind of technical glitch. I don't know if that was due to something an exchange was doing. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem like it was that high anytime recently. Market cap, 668.9 million. A billion tokens, 250 million of those out, so like 1/4 of the tokens or 1/4 of the tokens are actually in the circulating supply. Ethereum contract. Let's hop over to their Twitter and see how much attention they have over there. Again, this is Lighter. We've been over Lighter many times. I've made pre-recorded videos about Lighter, all of that stuff. Trade digital assets with low cost and low latency on Ethereum's L2 with custom ZK, zero knowledge, circuits for verifiable matching and liquidation. Public mainnet is live. Most recent pin post here. We are announcing that Lighter infrastructure token, LIT, Lighter is building infrastructure for the future of finance, and the native token is key to aligning incentives. In this thread, we'll discuss the structure of tokens, broader vision, and the roadmap of use case. Maybe we'll come back to this a little bit as kind of our coin that we deep dive a little bit. One thing is that, okay, not tradable on Coinbase. Thank you, Melissa, for always being on the ball. I really appreciate that. One thing that me and Bankroll, we hung out a little bit last night in the voice chat, and we were just talking, and he's brought it up before, and I've done it a little bit, but we're going to try to maybe highlight one coin, or, you know, one coin per stream, but we're going to try to dig in and see if we can't find some, you know, negative stuff about, negative news, negative things about its team or tokenomics or the way that they did something, you know, something of that nature. Also, let me see if I can fix this a little bit. All right, I think that's better. Maybe I made it worse with the camera, I don't know. So 113,000, the ratio is really good here. 113,000 and 879,000 impressions. It's pretty good. Looks like Bankroll, Melissa, Corey Hoffenstein. Is that somebody from the Lighter team, I think, that I followed when maybe I was doing the deep dive? If you haven't seen, I was locked in late. We was locked in late. I'm not sure what the heck he's talking about. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we were up late, locked in. Yep, we were going over Zebekin in the chart. Maybe we'll do a little bit more deep dive of Zebekin. You were talking about some interesting stuff there. I really enjoy all of you guys in the community and talking with you guys. It helps keep me fired up about continuing this. Anyways, I just wanted to hesitate and spend a moment on Lighter, just because Lighter is something that we covered very early on. And you got to remember, back in the time where we covered Lighter, decentralized exchanges were all the rage, right? They were the big craze. And now that they finally are coming out, that's not really the big craze anymore. I don't know, guys. What is the big craze in crypto right now? Because from the decentralized exchanges, we moved into your privacy coins, a lot of old privacy coins, right? And then, I don't know. I'm not seeing them constantly trending and pumping. Like, look, Zcash is in the pump today, but there was like Pharaoh and what was the other one that's old? Dang, I can't think of it right this second, but there's a few of them. You guys know that. And I'm not seeing a lot of them. Zcash seems to be the clear winner. Zcash seems to be the one everybody was excited about, but Zcash came out a long time ago. But my point is, are we still on privacy coins? I mean, they're still hot to some degree. But what else is? What is the thing right now? I don't know what that is. So we got to keep discovering and deep diving and trying to figure that out. Maybe we can figure it out ahead of the rest of everybody else. So Eliza OS, I feel like somebody came in the chat and corrected me yesterday about Eliza OS, saying that they weren't taking AI16Z and changing it to an operating system, that this was going to run alongside AI16Z. But I don't think that's true. I don't know why they were saying that and where they got that information from. Maybe they're deep in the trenches in this coin and in this sector, agentic networks, you know, AI agents, stuff like that. But it literally says AI16Z has been rebranded to Eliza OS, meaning I don't think anybody is running or caring about AI16Z. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like the core team has moved on to Eliza OS, but I think they're the same thing. I think at first they came out with AI agents and stuff like that, and then they realized, oh, this is way bigger than just like a single AI agent. or a few AI agents, we could build out the whole operating system for all of this stuff, right? They saw a bigger need. They came in with a problem to solve. Any good business has a problem to solve. And then they found an even bigger problem to solve, and they moved on to that. That's still in line with their original niche. 45.4 million in its market cap. Look at this liftoff for Eliza OS, though. You can track it back to the days of AI agents. November 6, 2025, with 11 billion tokens, 7.4 billion in circulation. So more than 50% vested. I want to pull this into like the 7-day. Yeah, so in the last 7 days, really since December 29th, you went from 0.002, looks like, to a high of 0.0066. So like a high, 0.006 and a half. So yeah, that's good stuff. Does look like a bit of a pull up this 24-hour. I mean, I don't know how you could argue that this is not a head and shoulder pattern. Looks like a head and shoulder pattern to me. Anyways, I digress. Solana contract address, of course, for Eliza OS. The OS standing for operating system. Twitter. Let's go see what they got going on there. I know we did just check this out the other day, but I think it's worth looking at. Blues guy in the house. I was waiting to say that. I knew you were coming. In the house, deep dive already underground, doesn't waste any time, bringing you the latest crypto news and projects. Blessing to you, kind sir. Hey man, you're the best. I appreciate you being here and saying all of that. Gratitude and blessings to all of my favorite crypto people. Much love, happiness. May your bags grow bigger and bigger by the day. Camsta in the house as well, says Ayo. Welcome in, welcome in. Finally, Homie made it again. 2 days off coming. Looking forward to rest and deep dive again. Underground. Underground Mania. Let's go. I like the sound of that. All right. And, welcome in everybody who was just coming into the stream. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. If you're a regular here, it's easy to join the screen and forget. So just back out, of the chat if you're on mobile or something, and double check that you have smashed that like button. What is, oh, wow, we got a new name in the chat. So Julio Gonzalez, I think is the name. I don't know if I've seen that name in the chat before. It says, hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. We are just really kicking off here with the stream. We're going over what is trending in crypto. If you like crypto research, if you want to raise your crypto IQ, maybe become a better speculator. I don't give financial advice, but welcome in and smash that like button. There is a link to the Discord. Our private Discord. It's our free Discord, and anybody is really welcome to it. Did anybody throw that in yet? Oh, look at that. Melissa is all over it. I'm going to go ahead and pin that in the chat. So the link to the Discord is pinned in the chat for all to whom it may concern. All right. So Eliza Ecosystem Fund. Oh, that's right. That's what they were saying. So I did get them wrong. They were saying that this is not Eliza OS. This is the Ecosystem Fund, which is interesting. I don't know why it redirects. I'm as good as the links that they want to give me over here on CoinGecko. And again, we're looking at what's trending. Let's see if we could just find Eliza OS Community Ecosystem Fund news. And that's really it. Price predictions. Okay. So I do have some new elements that we're going to be adding to the show. One is going to be some demo trading. I'm going to be doing a little bit of just trading, most of it for fun and speculation on maybe some of these trending coins, some things that are really new. And then another thing that I want to do is I'd like to maybe build portfolio. I'd be cool if they had a demo portfolio somewhere. Anybody know where you can build a demo portfolio? Anyways, there's a few things that we're going to integrate here into the show. I think it's going to make the show a lot funner. Anyway, sign up and get ready for the beginning of agent prediction markets. So they're getting into prediction markets. 25,000 impressions since November 22, 83.5. or 83.8 thousand followers. Not the best ratio. And I think that what the critique was from whoever came in the chat the other day, I think their critique was the fact that this is not the main Eliza OS Twitter. But I wasn't having any luck. I searched it there on Twitter. I took the extra second, to really make sure we were nailing it. And I wasn't seeing another account. So we'll see if that comes across our radar. Canton Network, again, somebody had talked about this recently. They wanted me to go over. I did go over it yesterday, but I'll touch on it again. 5.4 billion in market cap. That is a decent market cap, right? Hints to why it is already number 31 by market cap in crypto. 14 cents, high 14 cents, almost 15 cents. It's up 19% in the last 24 hours. Max chart says only up 2.3%. Since November 10th, 2025. Just a very rounded price action here. A lot of people tell you rounded price action pays the bills. Rounded bottoms pay the bills. I don't know if there's a bottom necessarily, right? Because this is just its whole price action at this point. It does have an infinite max supply. I've said many times that it's not my favorite thing when it comes to tokenomics. Got to raise that crypto IQ. If you don't know tokenomics, keep saying something and we'll keep hashing it out until you get it, right? That's what we're here for as a crypto community, a crypto family, if you will. He asked to check Psy. Oh, say, okay. Yeah, I'm going to get right into that. I'll do it right now because I love when new people come in and they have something that they want to talk about. Now, I believe it was Julio Gonzalez. Cool. Anything in particular that you want me to actually dig into would say? Like, are you looking at who's the team behind it? Do you just want to know about the tokenomics? Do you want to know when the project came out? I'm going to kind of go over a bunch of things, but if I don't hit what you're looking for, let me know. So August 14th, 2023 is when this Say came out. I think most of us have agreed that it's Say Network. I used to call it Psy all the time, but everybody keeps telling me it's Say. Anyways, so it came out a while ago, back in 2023. We had a really nice pump up to probably its high, $1.04 that it's ever been. And then again, we had a little pump to 70 cents December 5th, 2024. That's basically, at this point now, that was our altcoin season, right? That was our whole altcoin season. It was like the end of 2024, and we haven't seen anything like it since. Anyways, right now we're chilling at 11 cents. On the max chart, since it came out, you're down 35%, which is not horrible compared to a lot of other charts, but we've been much higher for this coin. I do hold a little bit of this coin, just so everybody knows, but it's very little. So I asked Bankroll about Canton Network just 30 minutes ago in the Discord. You just read my mind. Hey, man, sometimes I might do that. 737.3 million in market cap, so under a billion, 10 billion tokens, circulating supply 6.4 billion tokens. So if you know your tokenomics, you are taking this circulating supply and you are dividing this market cap number into it, and that is what is giving you your price per unit, per coin. Whatever you want to call it. You can call it units, you can call it coins, shares, doesn't really matter. It's all the same thing. Anyways, it's a smart contract platform. It's a layer 1. They are heavily focused around trading. They want to be the backbone of, decentralized exchanges and trading in crypto. You can see that they're in many portfolios, so a lot of people have invested in them. Parallelized EVM. All right, let's go to their website. So this is what they claim, right? I'm not saying this is necessarily true, but the fastest layer 1 EVM, Ethereum virtual machine blockchain, build high frequency apps that settle in 400 milliseconds, process 10,000 transactions for as low as 5 cents, which sounds pretty cheap to me. They're backed by people like Circle, who basically own USDC, Coinbase. Those are the two that stick out to me Jump and multi-coin capital. I don't know what that is. I don't know what these other ones are, but I'm sure there's somebody and I just don't know who they are. Real-time speed for endless innovation. Psi battle-tested EVM architecture enables robust security at scale, ideal for Web 2 like experiences, high-frequency trading, and reimagining what's possible on-chain. Read more about the upcoming Sei Giga upgrade. So when it comes to Sei, one thing that we're really looking forward to, or what's coming next, is this Giga upgrade. I wasn't sure if it had happened yet. And you come here, you can learn more about the Giga upgrade, right? Publishes white paper for the Giga, Sei Giga. The first multi proposer, I was going to say prosper. No, multi-proposer EVM layer 1 blockchain. And I love just deep diving with everybody. You know, this is the first time I've seen this. Obviously, I knew about the upgrade, but I hadn't dug into the upgrade at all. So it says May 19th, 2025, Psi Labs, the main contributor to Psi, or I'm calling it Psi again, Sei, the most performant layer 1 blockchain, today published the Sei Giga white paper. This white paper charts the blockchain's path to becoming the first multi-proposer EVM layer 1, leveraging parallel block proposals to solve bottlenecks. Sei Giga is designed to scale with Ethereum virtual machine with performance, focus, innovation, and data availability, DA, which is a common term, data availability, talking too fast, consensus, execution, and storage. By combining a high-performance consensus mechanism with an EVM execution client built from scratch, Sei Giga is engineered to overcome the limitations of traditional blockchains, offering significant improvements in transactions, throughput, latency, and scalability. The key features of Sei Giga include, and it looks like this is maybe the most important, part of what we're going to go over. So 5 gigagas throughput and 200,000 transactions per second, or TPS, usually what it's referred to, optimized for scalable high performance application, sub 400 millisecond finality, fast transactions confirmation, low latency, high speed performance, EVM compatibility support, Ethereum smart contracts, allowing easy integration with Ethereum apps, the Autobahn consensus. And what is the Autobahn? Most people would know. That'll give you an idea of what they're getting at here. Autobahn consensus protocol uses a multi-proposer architecture that enables parallel block proposals, enabling a 50x improvement in throughput. So really, this upgrade is a lot about increasing throughput. New execution client. Rather than using RETH or GETH, Sei Giga uses an entirely new EVM compliant rebuilt from scratch, increasing performance and efficiency. And then you have this async state commitments. Rather than generating a state commitment as part of consensus, Sei generates this asynchronously, remove it from the critical path. All right, I don't think it's worth going any farther than that. I've probably lost most of you here. Just saw the messages you sent. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I did text you back today. I did more farming on Flare Network and Spandex. Man, I've been so busy lately. It's like every time I turn around, there's something I got to do right away in the mornings or something like that. And I've been meaning to go buy a little bit of Flare and stake it and take the rest of my XRP that I'm holding over on Coinbase and wrap it and stake it. So that's very interesting that you say that, because I've been meaning to do that. Anyways, is Julio Gonzalez still in the house? Are you still here? Please drop something in the chat. Let me know you're still here, because I'm going over this for you. Breakthrough infrastructure runtime, parallelized runtime. I always feel like I messed that word up, right? But what is a parallel blockchain? It's modularity, right? That's modular blockchain technology. We talked about a lot how that is going to be kind of the future of blockchains right now. And unless I get a chat about something specific that he wants me to go over for Sei, I'm going to say that was conclusive. and was a good rundown of Say. All right, so let's go back to what's trending and see what's next. If somebody new comes in the chat, we're going to definitely prioritize what they're asking for. Take advantage of the fact that I am a small channel, and well, we need your subs and we need your engagement. So if you're going to come in and ask something, I'm going to get right to it. So not anything new that I'm really seeing here, from Pudgy Penguins to Internet Computer, Avalanche, Cardano, nothing super intriguing to go over right this second. Now, I was going to go over Canton Network, and I don't think I did that. So let me get back to it here, because that's when somebody said something about Say. So again, 5.4 billion in market cap, infinite max supply, 36.7 billion out in circulating supply. But when that circulating supply has no reference, like it's not out of a number, because right now it's out of infinity, it makes the tokenomics, I guess, make less sense to me. Let's go check out their Twitter. And they have 81.2 thousand followers, the only public blockchain with privacy that works, powering Wall Street and trillions on chain. And maybe Canton Network is the one, right? Maybe they're getting a lot of attention and a lot of market cap. I was really surprised, because, you know, a lot of projects start and they kind of promise all this stuff, and then who knows what they're actually going to do, right? Minting and using U.S. treasuries on Canton is coming in 2026, enabling tokenized USTs to be exchanged in near real time with stablecoins and other digital assets, all with privacy controls and regulated markets demand. So 166,000 impressions out of 81.2 thousand followers, only from December 17th. Pretty good. Let's hop over to their website, though. It didn't seem like they were really going to tell us a whole lot on the Twitter there. So again, it's financial. I say it all the time. It is not the most retail exciting, right? Or interesting. Retail is not really, you know, getting excited and running out and buying this and posting about it on Twitter. But it is financial, which means it's infrastructure, and it is these type of infrastructure things are the backbone of crypto and ecosystems and blockchains. Like, this is where the money flows, and that's where a lot of times the development goes, because there's money to pay developers. And, you know, they're people who are working, they have a skill, but if the money's not there and they're not getting paid, they're not coming over to build anything. Where finance flows, the power of capital market meets the real value of blockchain. So DTCC and digital asset partner to tokenize DTC custodied U.S. custodied. That's hilarious. Custodied U.S. Treasury securities on Canton Network. Some days it's like you're really on, and then other days you just mess up like every single word that you read. I don't know what day it is. I don't know if that's today, but it might be. Connections without the trade-off. So Canton connects previously siloed, again siloed meaning separated or isolated, financial systems and infrastructures, creating new potential for innovation and growth without sacrificing privacy or protocol. Privacy fit for regulated institution. Canton is the first privacy-enabled open blockchain, ensuring limitless connections that preserve privacy. Decentralization with control. So Canton distinctively balances the decentralization of public blockchain with the privacy and controls required for financial markets. So, you know, saying we can be decentralized, but we can also meet the industry standards and be okay with the regulators all at the same time. See if they give us any interesting other stuff to look at. An ecosystem, that was kind of what I was hoping for here. So 6 trillion plus on chain. I don't know how they justify that. It'd be cool if like they maybe put next to it what is on chain that's worth $6 trillion, because that is several times more than what is in crypto right now, right? We're just barely over 3 trillion. So that's, you know, double. And I'd like to know, is that coming on to crypto? You know, is that coming into crypto somewhere? Where are they keeping that $6 trillion? It says 4 trillion monthly repos. Again, they could really do a better job. You know, I hate to dish out some criticism when, you know, I'm not building this company or involved with it, but they could explain this stuff a little bit better if they're going to kind of quote unquote brag about some of their numbers here. So here are things that are in the ecosystem. This is the point that we were trying to get to. 21 shares, tokenized asset, 4M Group, strategy and integration services. You got this 5N Loop wallet, data analytics, NAS, and developer tools, 7 Ridge. Just kind of wanted to see how robust the ecosystem was here. This is a liquidity provider. You know, a lot of times I love liquidity providers for different ecosystems. Deepbook, you know, if you will, for the Sui ecosystem. Aerodrome for the base blockchain. You know, different ones that provide liquidity can do really good. Let's see if I could pull this thing up. Let's see if we could pull this up over on CoinGecko, because I'm kind of interested about this coin here. So it's Astizer. Doesn't look like this is like an actual... Okay, so maybe it's just like a private company, because it doesn't look like it's an actual token. An institutional grade omni-chain infrastructure for DeFi, RWAs, real world assets, and stablecoins, blockchain interoperability, omni-chain asset issuance, and liquidity solution for enterprise, DeFi, and RWA protocol. Okay. Well, with it not being a project with a token, unless they call it, unless the project's actually called something else, maybe. And we are deep diving right here together. It says lots and lots of partnerships. Are you talking about for Canton? I bought a tiny bag of Canton will blast off. I mean, it's already at 5.4 billion. So unless it's going to be like the main guy, which it could be at this point, it's getting that kind of attention. To double your money, you need another $5.4 billion to come in. Might be a little hard to do where we are in crypto right now. If we start pumping and we go into, you know, some kind of altcoin rally, then it's not really hard. You might get, you know, a 3x instead of a double up. So the first collateral bridge on Canton Network, built with Asterism, I'm going to go with that. Protocol has been unanonymously. What is unanonymously? The opposite of anonymously. So like just normal. Okay. I won't get too into that. Approved and granted feature app status. So it's a featured app. Mainnet went live. Cross-chain messaging and omni-chain token standards are now live. Okay, but I guess they don't have a token. Sealand. So they're integrated maybe with Sealand here. Supra. That's just a repost. They don't even mention them. The first use case, a cross-chain lending protocol powered, integrated, 40,000 users on Canton, 25,000 users on this Temple NY. Users can use Canton coins as collateral to borrow stable coins on the Ethereum network. Okay, well, it seems like this is the main use case here. Canton coins as collateral to borrow stable coins on the Ethereum network. So just borrowing against, again, lending. That's pretty much all lending is a loan, right? Most normal people understand lending. All right, we're going to move on from Canton Network. I really wanted to do my due diligence there, but without, like, there's probably more we could go into, but that'd be like spending another 30 minutes on just Canton Network. Let's hop over and check out what the Fear and Greed Index is today. It is 21, which is lower. Sometimes it's weird when this thing decides to go down and when it decides to go up again. It was at 23 yesterday. It's pretty much been on average 24. And then we kind of got this sudden drop, but it's weird because Bitcoin was pumping. Am I missing something here? I just popped over to my 15-minute chart. So yeah, we kind of topped out Monday the 29th, December 2025 at 0400. And then we had a big drop all the way down to 86,780 basically. And then we recently just got another pump up to literally like 89,400. I might as well go ahead and show my chart here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That would be a good idea. So anyways, what I'm talking about is in regard to the fear and greed index. You know, so you're telling me when we were all like down here, we were at 24 for the fear and greed index. But as soon as we actually like get some pump out of it, then we go to 21. Maybe it was this pullback here that took us to 21. I don't know. But either way, the fear and greed index is dropping a little bit. Does that mean it's a better time to even pick up some stuff? I don't know. One thing I do see on the 15-minute, even if it's just a little bit vague, is this inverted head and shoulder on the 15-minute. But just throwing that out there. I wasn't planning on doing TA. I was just trying to explain that it's odd sometimes when the fear and greed index decides to drop. It'll like be kind of flat for a few days and then we'll finally start pumping, and then it'll be like, all right, we're going to go down a little bit, when you would think it would go up a little bit, right? All right, let's move back to where we were. All right, now we're going to look at what is trending over on Crypto Rank and see if really at this point we've gone over quite a few things, and the more important things, I believe. So, and we did a pretty thorough job yesterday. I'm really just looking for projects. I'm really just looking for projects that we haven't looked at before. I see that Blues Guy says UG. Usually means he's trying to get my attention. What's up, Blues Guy? You got something you need me to see? So, oh, you're awesome, bro. So much respect. Man, he's just the nicest guy, man. Thank you for being a part of this community. I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, I'm always trying to do my best for everybody. Even if we have a small community, we're very tight-knit. I consider us crypto family. And, you know, we're going to keep building. Even if we just have a small amount of people, we're going to keep doing our thing until it starts paying dividends for everybody. And then everybody will come rushing in, right? But that's not even really what it's about. So here is this Access protocol, which I've never really heard of before. Access is a Web3 protocol for content creators and publications to improve their monetization and better connection with consumers or customers. I'm not sure what it said. I moved out of it too quick. This thing's been a very fast race to the bottom. Let's switch it to the weekly here. Pull it into perspective. My goodness, this thing went high. Like, it went really high. It was up to like 27 cents at one point, and now you're at 0.00028. It's a lot of zeros. That's 3 zeros. Wow. It is teetering on the edge of never being relevant ever again, if it ever even was. Yeah, look at this. Market cap right now, 9.3 million. All-time high market cap, 414 million. Holy crap, that thing is way down. And a lot of these charts look like this. You know, one thing, we're always deep diving new projects, and you have to understand that when you're deep diving new projects, it's like digging through the dirt, right? There's a lot of dirt, and dirt is, you know, dirt is amazing as creation power, right? Because I know Blues Guy is going to say something, and he would be right. But when you're digging through the dirt, a lot of it's useless, right? You're not taking home buckets of dirt to try to sell, you know, to the local jewelry store. No, you're looking for gold. You're looking for diamonds. You're looking for silver. Okay, I don't think people are really digging in the dirt, you know, with a shovel for silver. But you get my point. It's in the ground. People are digging. It's the same thing when we go through these trending protocols, or trending projects, if you will. It's good to kind of have an eye on it, but try to temper your expectations is what I do. Not giving you financial advice. Like, try not to just get excited about every project that says something. Again, I'm going to keep referring back to this jelly. They haven't put out a working product, and now I haven't looked at it in like 2 days, maybe 3 days. So maybe there's egg on my face and they've actually suddenly put out something, but I don't believe that's the case. And I don't think that they ever will, because it takes a lot of money to build something on par with like Instagram or something like that. Like, it's not something you do easily. It could take them years, right? All they have is a simple basic website that looks like I made it on Canva in about 4 hours. And people get excited about it because they're promising something, right? All of these different projects can promise you something. Don't get too excited about it. And people come in on the hype, and then, you know, it runs up to 414 million in market cap, and then people sell it off as the big people never probably ever believed it was going to do anything. The big investors just got in to make a bag, and then they ran off. That's what they do. They do it over and over and over again. We call them venture capitalists, angel investors, whatever. They're people who get in right before things launch, take advantage of the hype, get out, make a bag, 10x usually, at least, if not more, and then they run off and rinse and repeat with all the money that they've made, while everybody else who got suckered into the narrative is all in here. Just wanted to say that for a minute, because we go over a lot of projects, and I don't want to constantly be like, yeah, this project probably sucks, this project probably, these projects are probably all garbage, because it's not true. Because then, like, look at Canton Network. Canton Network is a good example. Canton Network would have been your diamond in the rough, right? We looked at it. I believe we looked at it before it ever even had a token generation event. For days before it had a token generation event, we were going over it pretty much daily. And then all of a sudden it came out and it did phenomenal. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to move on from there. We're going to take a look at their website. I knew Blues Guy was going to come in with something good to say. He says, dirt is good, play in it, eat it. Clay even better. Clay will trap bad stuff, parasites and venom. Bentonite clay and activated charcoal do the same amazing stuff. Yeah, I was just taking activated charcoal today. And I've used that bentonite clay as a binder for parasite cleanses many times. So unlock the world of content rewards your favorite creators. A lot of times this type of talk goes right into like you having the right to IP and stuff like that. Access Protocol allows fans to directly support creators by staking the platform's native token in exchange for exclusive content and rewards. Okay then. Tap into global on-chain audience. Only 288 active creators. 353,000 subscribers. It does look very interesting, somewhat intriguing. And you don't know, like, this could be garbage, or this could be, you know, like getting into YouTube when they had only been out for a year and a half. You never really know. Remember, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. If I were to go over to this right now and start, you know, putting content out on it, it may never be anything. At some point, I might quit doing it, or I might be very glad and also handsomely rewarded for doing that before everybody else came over to it. You never know. I think Access Protocol, I don't think is a very good name for what they're doing. Sounds like some kind of techie behind the scenes financial portal for, you know, liquidity or something like that. It doesn't sound like, you know, reinventing content, monetization. I don't know. Am I wrong? Does anybody else throw something in the chat? Do you feel like Access Protocol is a good name for a project that's trying to fix or reinvent content monetization? Does that sound like those two line up to you? I know that those things, like, most people be like, that doesn't really matter. But to me, it actually matters a lot, because that's the future of your branding, right? That's catching people's attention. Somebody reads Access Protocol and they might not stop and look at it. If it's called content, or if it's called Creator Protocol, somebody who's in the work of content creating might stop and click on it and look at it. It makes a big difference what the name is, right? Hello, Grandma. Happy New Year's. Thank you for being here. What if Canton goes up to $100 tonight? That would be awesome. If so, take everyone out to UG's. Oh, okay. I see what he's saying. Everybody's coming to Florida on Blues Guys on his dime if Can Network goes up to $100. Hey, I hope it does. So I hope it does. I have some. I like Giggle or Clanker. I don't know, Underground. Yeah, I mean, Giggle and Clanker are, two that I like. I have a little bit of Clanker. I don't have a little bit of Giggle. I don't know if I want Giggle. What is Giggle even at right now? Anyways, I digress with this access protocol. I was kind of using it as an example to make a point. No ice. I just call it noise. Noise. I don't think I can say it any other way now after yesterday saying noise so many times. And I'm just going to roll with it like that's correct. We went over that yesterday. It's kind of new on our radar. I like to see H-bar trending, although I did sell all of my H-bar at one point, and now it doesn't look like such a bad sell. I think I sold all my H-bar at like 7 cents. That's a hilarious story, right? So I bought a lot of things down in the bear market, right? Most of them are still up now, even if they're not amazingly up like they were back in the end of 2024, which apparently was our altcoin season, because I haven't seen anything else to contradict that yet. I digress. But anyways, I was tired of seeing things sit. There was a lot of things that I kind of wanted to move around, and I wanted to take, a couple $1,000 in my main portfolio and move it around because just stuff wasn't moving at all. And I was basically tied down between H-bar and Algorand, right? And I was like, it's one of these, if not both. What I really should have done is I should have took 50% of one of them and 50% of the other and then sold those and kept, just minimize my bags a little bit. But long story short, I had been holding H-bar at that point for a year and a half, maybe longer, maybe 2 years. And then as soon as I sold it, like 4 days later, it took off after, of course, doing nothing for the whole bear market. It was just a funny story. Yeah. I made a decision. I rolled with it. It is what it is. I'm not sad about it, but it almost makes me happy to see it come back to 11 cents because that's closer to where I sold it. And I'm like, all right, maybe I would have held it and just round tripped it, and then it wouldn't even have mattered that it pumped. Anyways, what is OOOO? Also, I think kind of a dumb name. If I saw this just randomly on Twitter as a name, I would probably think it was like a typo or something like that. Okay, so 0.04 cents. We have a market cap of 7.5 million. The all-time high market cap is only 7.9 million. So this is a better look, in my opinion, when you come and you see the market cap and then you see the all-time high and it's not that far away, versus like an old project. You come here, like the one we were just looking at, that was at like 9 million, but the all-time high was 414 million. What did I do? I messed it up. Good job. Melissa says, I have both. They both crazy pumped like a mofo. Algorand did? Did Algorand pump hard? I don't remember. I remember the story. Man, the day after. Yeah, exactly. I haven't told that one in a while. It's like I haven't told the story of how I got into crypto in a while. But I'm not going to do it right now. I don't even know what to call this thing. Is a modular omni-chain interoperability protocol supporting the Bitcoin ecosystem. Okay, so this is Bitcoin DeFi. Right there on Bitcoin DeFi, I'm pretty much out. Not because I hate Bitcoin DeFi, but because I've been here long enough to see that Bitcoin DeFi gets a little bit of excitement. A couple projects get a little bit of a pump. They're usually new projects that are a little bit, I don't know, more innovative than the ones that came before it. And then it's gone, and the hype is gone, and nobody cares. I don't think that the people who hold large amounts of Bitcoin, I don't think they want to pull it out and use it as liquidity unless they're actually taking large loans on it to live their life and have debt-free money, as, debt isn't taxed, for those who don't know that. Intelligent automation for cross-chain intents powered by, It's kind of fun to do that every time, but I'm going to refrain. So AI, OmniNet, is AI-driven, full-spectrum collaboration that breaks down the barriers between multi-chain, multi-protocol, and multi-application environments. And then they kind of give us a setup here. It's really dark. I'm going to criticize the things that I think are lame. Obviously, I could zoom in. I can make this a little bit bigger, but it's still really dark, and they didn't use very bold print, and it's just kind of lame. I don't even want to read this to you. And I know if I don't want to read this to you, and like, think about it. I go out of my way to purposely go to these websites and read information to you. So if I don't even want to sit here and try to read this chart to you, most people aren't even going to give it a second. Look, they're just going to scroll right over it and be like, yep, not interesting, moving on. And like, as a project, your website needs to be as engaging as possible, right? Otherwise, who cares? They're not going to read your story. They're not going to read your mission or what you're trying to solve, and they're not going to care. Like example, like putting this very small, not bold, light gray text on a black background like this. The top, it looks great, right? This white emboldened, bigger white font on a black background, perfect, like this right here. But like this tiny gray stuff, it's terrible. I don't even care. I don't even want to read it. I'm gonna make my point by like literally not even reading it. So anyways, let's go see if they have any attention over on Twitter. That's another thing that would make me at some point, like if I come here and they have a bunch of attention on Twitter, then tomorrow I'll probably bite the bullet and go back and actually read some of that stuff. So, boost interoperability by introducing AI OmniNet, intelligent automation for cross-chain intents. So when they start talking about intents, that's like that intention layer, or, intentfy. I don't think they actually call it that, but it sounds cool. AI-powered, chainless, limitless. So again, like Anoma, which at this point, Anoma probably a failed project. I don't know. They're gonna need to actually come out with something really cool, or they're cooked, right? They're just another failed project that promised a lot, didn't really have the answers, right? So here's the pin post from December 29th, which is literally yesterday. The moment we've all been waiting for is finally here. Can't wait to start this new chapter with all of you. Eligible users, get ready to claim your airdrops. So, I mean, this is just airdrops on Binance Wallet. It's not hard for a project to give some tokens to Binance for them to go ahead and airdrop. It's not revolutionary. They didn't launch their new main net project that I know of. Bitmart. So they're listed on Bitmart if you want to easily get them. Bitmart, very easy to use. I do have an affiliate link in the description if anybody wants to grab that. I love when I'm late to the chat. And Blues Guy is like, what WTF is that underground? I think he's talking about the OOOO. Ooh. Yeah, I don't even know what to call it, right? So, wait, 2026 BTC, ETH, Doge, Sol will be on Flare. DeFi will be linked. It'll be crazy. You'll see, hey, I'm here for that. I'm here for it. I own some Flare. I own some Doge. I own some Sol. I own some ETH. I don't own any BTC. FBTC, FETH. Oh boy, I am bullish. That's awesome, Blues Guy. And we will definitely have a good talk about that tomorrow, well before the stream. Silver got rejected by the 200. Crypto about to pump again. Nice. That's nice. Can't wait to mess those on Flare is getting so deep. They are not playing around. Sometimes I get lost with what you guys saying. I'm like, I don't know what that meant, but I'm gonna play it off. Anyways, let's get away from this because that last project, it's just not fun, right? I don't like when they don't put any effort into it seems like they don't put any effort into their website. I'm just like, this represents you, and it also tells me how much you pay attention, how much you care, how much you invested. Like, So a lot of times they have treasuries with millions of dollars in it, but you're telling me you didn't spend $3,000 on a proper website? I mean, or $4,000 or $5,000 on a proper website. Spend $10,000 on a website that knocks it out of the park. I think that's good marketing, and then use funnels and things to redirect people to your awesome website. I've seen some projects that have done it really good. Anyway, Zero Base or ZBT, I don't think that this is that new. I think I've gone over this before. Let's see when this came out. What chart did they put us on? The daily. It's usually a good sign. The 17th of October 2025. I think I literally haven't talked about this project since it came out token generated. Obviously it was trending the day that it token generated. You do see like a little bit of action here, like a pump kind of flagged. Pump looks like it's flagging again. Will it pump and flag and pump and flag? Or will it just make an M pattern and just dump to nowhereville? Never know. 34.9 million. And it's been as high as 233 million. But in ratio, that's not so bad. It's retained a decent amount of it, right? But what is it? Zero Base is a real-time, zero-knowledge prover network designed for speed, decentralization, and regulatory compliance. Now, the move again is to just go right to Twitter and see if they have any attention. Are they an absolute nobody? 67.4 thousand followers for a smaller project like this. I would say they're doing pretty decent at capturing some attention. And then, of course, let's go look at what ecosystem they're in. Base, BNB, and Ethereum. That's also very important. Like that they got the contract address right up front. No pinned post, which, you know, kind of maybe shows a lack of organization here. So as Zero Base super strategy system and risk constraint mechanism continue to mature, the early participation phase of ZBT tickets is coming to an end. Okay, I don't know what the ZBT tickets are, but if you've been involved with this project, you probably know what it is. So the cryptographic trust layer for global finance. I don't know why I can't talk. Oh, you guys will remember this. It's so funny, right? Because I was just talking about making a good website and knocking it out of the park. And, you know, nice image right when you come in. White background, big letters. Trillions of dollars in financial transactions require trust, yet current audit solutions are inefficient and fragmented. And then you got a bunch of data. Like, this looks nice, right? This looks like a nice website. It looks like they put some time and effort. But do you guys remember this? Oh, it's gone? Or it's not working? This sucks. I was really hoping to make a point with this. Do you remember the playground feature where it was like a wheelchair and you could go around and there was like a soccer ball? You could play, you know, soccer in this wheelchair. It was just really interesting as just like something on a website to mess around with. Now it says it's gone. I don't know why they went through all the trouble to create that or take it from somewhere else, and then now they don't even support it anymore. Anyways, you can stake with Zero Base. You could run a node. It is proof of scan. And what is proof of scan, right? So Zero Base stake. I really want to know more about what proof of scan is, kind of in their own words. And they really didn't give me anything, so they kind of failed me a little bit here. Just at Zero Base, proof of scan, and then this is where you're doing the scanning. ZK verified, you know, some things, these are transactions going on, probably staking, probably people staking in here. And then you got network revenue, you got some analytics there, but no explanation as to what proof of scan is. Real-time zero knowledge proof generation. So this is all about verification, right? For those who don't understand that, ZK knowledge proofs, it's all about verifying things on a blockchain. And ZK stands for zero knowledge. So it's a method that you'll see used all over crypto. It's kind of revolutionary in crypto blockchain technology, however you want to look at it, where they can verify stuff with zero knowledge of what it actually is. So if they were trying to verify the amount of money in a wallet without actually knowing what the amount of money in the wallet is, how you do that, I have absolutely no idea. But you see it so much everywhere that it's got to be relatively good technology, because everybody wouldn't be integrating it if it doesn't work. All right, who's ready to raise that crypto IQ, or really the main event of a Tuesday night stream? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is where we really hit it hard on raising that crypto IQ, and we have set our sights tonight on optimism, right? So the origins of optimism. Yes, I already read number 1, but I'm gonna read it again because it doesn't make sense to just randomly start on number 2. Optimism began as one of Ethereum's earliest serious attempts at layer 2 scaling using optimistic rollups. The core problem it set out to solve was Ethereum's limited throughput, high transaction costs, congestion during periods of demand. This idea was to move computation off Ethereum while preserving Ethereum's security guarantees. And they were going to do that through optimistic rollups. So early optimistic rollup designs. Optimistic rollups operate under a simple assumption. Transactions are assumed to be validated by default. So again, this is kind of the difference. And I think this is a really interesting approach. I feel like if you really can walk with me here, you know, put your thinking caps on, get a pen and pencil out, do what you got to do to try to follow and really understand what I'm saying here. It's optimistic rollup. Rollup is a way of validating, and maybe even you could say validating off-chain in a modular way. And it's optimistic. So they're just assuming, I don't know. I feel like if you pitch this in any technical company or something like that, it'd be like, that's a crazy idea. We're not going to, like, imagine you went to the bank and you're like, listen, all right, this is how we're going to upgrade the bank. We're just going to assume that every transaction isn't fraudulent by default. And then we'll just like speculate on ones that look weird. No, the bank would never do that. Transactions are assumed to be valid by default. Now, why would they do this? Because how are we going to make the throughput faster? Well, what is stopping the throughput, the TP, the throughput on a blockchain from being fast? Well, it has to be validated. It has to be, you know, what do you call it? I guess validated. There was another way I wanted to say it, but then I lost it. So it has to be validated. So they're like, let's just not validate it. Let's just assume that it's all good until proven difficult. And then so fraud proofs are used only if somebody challenges the transaction. So like now you have like this self-network policing idea where like somebody has to come in and say, hey, this transaction Ethereum that you guys have validated is fraudulent. And then what? Then they argue about it? How does that work? Is there like some kind of court of validation for Ethereum, you know, council of validation? No, there's probably not. And they're probably extremely hard to get a hold of any other way, right? So this model dramatically reduced on-chain computation because you no longer had to even validate anything. You just assumed everything was good unless somebody had something to say about it, while relying on Ethereum as a final arbiter of truth. I don't know. I 100% understand how this optimistic rollup got things moving faster. I get that part, but why you would sacrifice like fraud security over just moving it faster? Maybe they just couldn't think of any other way to do it. I'm not a coder, a developer, so maybe I'm just an idiot and I don't really see how great this was. I do understand again how it was faster. Clove water, fantastic, beautiful and amazing. Let's go underground. Roll up validating off chain, bro. I'm all about optimism and POSIV. I don't like assumed though. Right. They're layer 2 tech that batches thousands of transactions off chain, posts them to Ethereum as one bundle. It handles over 50 to 60% of all Ethereum to layer 2 activity, growing towards 80%. Full EVM compatibility, easy for devs to port ETH apps, lower cost, simple setup, right? Haha, you ain't no idiot. Hey, I appreciate you saying that. And Bankroll, or that one guy, what he said is completely right. And it's not lost on me how useful optimistic rollups were. Like, they move things forward in the tech. Fazooka upgrade, December 25th, slashed layer 2 fees even more via better data blobs. My whole point was how much better ZK rollups are than optimistic rollups. I just think it's a fact. I think optimistic rollups have to integrate ZK technology or face losing relevance, right? Transactions are assumed to be valid by default. Okay, we read that part. So Optimism implemented this design with a focus on simplicity, Ethereum alignment, and minimal protocol divergence. From research project to production network, Optimism early development was slow and research heavy. This period was marked by multiple redesigns of the rollup architecture, caution around security assumptions. I mean, that's basically what I was pointing out. At least it wasn't lost on everybody. Prioritizing correctness over speed. When Optimism finally launched publicly, it did with limited access and controlled onboarding. The introduction of OP, Optimism Token. The Optimism Token was introduced not as a gas token, but as a governance and coordination asset. Key characteristics: OP does not secure the network through staking. OP governance protocol upgrades in the ecosystem funding. OP is used to coordinate long-term development. This signaled a shift away from purely technical scaling towards ecosystem governance. Optimism philosophy, Ethereum alignment. From early on, Optimism adopted a strong ideological position. Ethereum should remain the base layer. Layer 2 should extend Ethereum, not compete with it, right? It should all work together as one ecosystem. This philosophy shaped protocol design, upgrade paths, and tooling compatibility. Optimism intentionally avoided radical deviations from Ethereum execution environment. Man, y'all are going ham in this chat. I love it. So full EVM compatible. Okay, I read that. Yeah, you ain't no idiot. Fazooka upgrade / layer 2 fees. More via better data blobs. And remember that the Fazooka upgrade was really like priming the engine for the next upgrade that's going to be coming in. So fun fact, withdrawals. I have a 7-day challenge window to catch fraud, but bridges and fast exits make it feel instant most of the time. ZK rollups are faster finality, but Optimism bets on good until proven otherwise, I think is what he was saying. And yeah, that's the core function between it. But if ZK rollups can prove things without needing to even know what they are, and they're faster, then how is Optimism? I just wonder, like, you know, what at this point, because you got to remember, back when Optimism came out and optimistic rollups were a thing, we didn't have ZK proof. We didn't have ZK, zero knowledge proofs, and you know, that kind of zero proof technology. We didn't have any of that, right? So it wasn't like they had a choice to pick one or the other, right? So OP, Mantle, Metis, Arbitrum, main tokens related. Yep, and we are going to be going over those ecosystem tokens here shortly. But anyways, we didn't have ZK proofs and ZK rollups and stuff like that, so they kind of had to go with this because they needed to get the blockchain of Ethereum moving faster, right? Before everybody just got fed up with it and went somewhere else, right? The move towards modular thinking, and again, modularity, that's what I was saying. This whole first push of layer 2 scaling for Ethereum is really what brought in the idea of modularity. So as Ethereum embraced modular scaling, Optimism began reframing itself not just as a rollup, but as a rollup infrastructure. Instead of asking, how do we run one layer 2? Optimism asked, how do we enable many rollups to share a common stack? The question eventually led to OP Stack and the Superchain vision. So that's how the Superchain idea was brought about. The OP stack explained at a high level. The OP stack is a modular open source framework for building Ethereum's compatible rollups. It includes execution layers, settlement layers, data availability assumptions, governance modules. Developers can customize components while retaining compatibility with Ethereum. Now, I hope you guys are following what we're putting down. You must be, because Blues guy and that one guy are definitely going ham in the chat. Easier dev compatibility. So you're saying that optimistic rollups are easier for devs? I could see that. I mean, I could definitely see how assuming every transaction is valid unless somebody disputes it is easier than I don't know, mathematical principle that proves if things are legitimate without even knowing what they are. Yeah, that sounds way more complicated. For sure. So from single rollup to ecosystem strategy, Optimism pivot was strategic. Instead of maximizing value inside a single chain, the goal became creating a network of interoperable rollups, sharing development costs, coordinating upgrades, aligning incentives across chain. This marked the birth of the Superchain concept. Says, good info, bro. Love it. Glad that you guys are following along here. I told you we're going to raise that crypto IQ. Unlike some ecosystems, Optimism avoided promoting full sovereign rollups. Instead, it emphasized shared standards, shared upgrades, and shared governance principles. The Superchain was designed for coordination rather than fragmentation, which is a good point, because when you're pulling all of these different things into separate, separate avenues, separate rollups, however you want to talk about it, it could get really fragmented. But if they share standards, if they share governance principles and upgrades, you can kind of keep everything coordinated and together. I think that was a smart move. The foresight to see how that could go wrong, right? The Superchain as a response to rollup fragmentation. As rollups multiplied, Ethereum faced a new problem: liquidity fragmentation, duplicated infrastructure, and inconsistent UX, which is like userability. The Superchain attempts to solve this by turning rollups into cooperating networks rather than isolated systems. And then I have it separated in two so that we could go to ChatGPT and look at the news for the day. Please give me all relevant news in crypto for today and the last couple of days. It's been a little bit since we went over the news on the channel, so we'll even include the last couple of days as well. So let's stay up to date on what's going on here. I don't know what my dog's barking at out there. She's probably unhappy she's not allowed to come in my office. So let's see, what do we got going on? Liquidity evaporates. BTC holders near 88K. Bitmine stakes $1 billion ETH. Well, yeah, of course the liquidity is evaporated. We're between Christmas and New Year's. That's not really news. Why Tom Lee says Ethereum is heading into 2026 super cycle despite price is down. Maybe we want to look at that one. Crypto tax reporting requirement set to begin in UK and Europe. Crypto tax reporting. So wait, were they not already required to report taxes in the UK? I don't think anybody here is from the UK, so I don't think anybody actually cares about this. If I'm wrong, please say something in the chat. Deep diving info stream tonight. Zebekin pulling back a bit. Yeah, I looked at it earlier, Bankroll, because I looked at obviously where we were talking about it last night, and it did pump hard. All right, so I don't really see any point in going over what Europe's doing about crypto unless we have some people in the chat. I'm not going to bother. So let me know. Strategy snaps up 109 million worth of Bitcoin after weekend-long dry spell. XRP is quietly forming a spring-loaded supply setup that frustrated retail traders are completely ignoring. All right, we're gonna talk about that story as well. So we don't need to talk about the liquidity evaporating. That was obvious. I saw that coming. I hope you saw that coming for, Christmas and the New Year's. The big boys, I said it last night to Bankroll, I was like, your big players, took their private yacht to another country to enjoy the New Year's or even Christmas. Like, they're not in the market making moves right now, and they are the liquidity, right? They can put the markets on pause when they got stuff to do. When they want to go have fun, they'll just put the markets on pause and do what they want to do, like they do almost every weekend. XRP holding key support near 1.87 with exchange supply hitting multi-year lows. Institutional strategic moves. We have this big Bitcoin buying, of course, MicroStrategy buying 109 million. ETH accumulation. Bitmine holding of ETH has grown over 4.1 million ETH, which I think they said was over $1 billion, as the firm continues accumulation and staking activities representing 3% of total ETH supply. It's interesting that Bitmines, which I would assume is about Bitcoin mining, but it's actually a holdings company, or they have holdings of ETH. I'm sure they have many companies wrapped up into one, and they have grown over 4.1 million ETH. Why would they be holding all this ETH if they think it's going to go down drastically? Maybe they plan on holding it for the next 30, 50 years, and they don't really care what it does in the next year, right? Regulation and reporting. New crypto tax reporting rules here are set to begin for platforms users across 48 jurisdictions under the crypto asset reporting framework in the UK and Europe. I don't know how most people feel about Europe. I'm pretty sure that Europe is pretty much done themselves in, and I think that Europe's going to be pretty much irrelevant in the next 10 years. Like, nobody will care what Europe thinks, what they're going to do. They'll pretty much be overtaken. So I don't really care what's going on in Europe right now. And I don't live there, so I don't have to go by their crazy rules, and so I don't really care what their rules are. So FBI and crypto theft. This might be interesting. The FBI issued a wanted notice for a $5 million reward for a suspect tied to 900,000 crypto theft operations allegedly linked to North Korean actors exploiting remote IT roles. Okay, so they're working as remote IT, and then they're somehow, stealing. That's crazy. So market manipulation discussions. On-chain analysis suggests recent Bitcoin whipsaws may reflect structural vulnerabilities and stop hunting mechanics rather than a coordinated scheme. Wouldn't stop hunting mechanics, wouldn't that be a coordinated scheme by the market makers? I would think so. And the end of the year slump. Despite an all-time high in October, the crypto market has wiped out about $1 trillion in value in the recent month. Think about that. Or what would be 1/4 of the overall money in crypto across the board, dampening earlier optimism tied to pro-crypto political narrative. I saw the word optimism. I thought it was going to actually say something about the project Optimism. So the bottom line here, price action is range-bound, cautiously bullish yet neutral. Institutional flows favor strategic accumulations and selective altcoin. You got the regulatory stuff in Europe and security fraud. Now let's go take a look at some of these articles, see if they're worth a dang or if they're garbage. Tom Lee says Ethereum is heading into a 2026 super cycle despite the price being down. Ethereum, let's see what the bullet points are actually. Tom Lee, strategic tax harvesting is keeping crypto prices down for now. Right, saying everybody's doing end of the year tax harvesting, and that's why we're not pumping. But he says crypto is in a long-term super cycle, which is funny. The reason why I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to see what he had to say, because I kind of think that we're going to have a really great year next year as part of a super cycle. It's just a hunch, some intuition. I don't trade off of feelings, but I got a hunch about that one, so we'll see if that pans out or not. Ethereum has had speculatory years, so why is the price still down 40% from its August all-time high? And again, we're talking about Ethereum here, not so much Bitcoin. Tom Lee, chairman of Digital Asset Treasury from Bitmine, blames the holiday slump. Market activity tends to slow down when we enter the final holidays of the calendar year. Yep, everybody should know that. Year-end tax loss related selling is pushing down crypto and crypto equity prices, is affecting trends to be the greatest from the 26th to the 30th. And of course, if you're tax loss harvesting, most of that money is coming right back into the market, right? After the first. So professional prognosticator had reason to be bullish on Ethereum. This year, the network celebrated 10 years since it debuted and successfully rolled out 2 major technical upgrades. This year they had 2 upgrades. Okay, we know about Fazooka. So Wall Street King JP Morgan selected Ethereum for its first ever tokenized money market fund, an asset class valued at $9 trillion by the Bank of International Settlements. So think about that. So JP Morgan's going to go do their tokenization with Ethereum, and they've already decided that they think it's going to be worth about $9 trillion by the Bank of International Settlements, which is a big mover in the whole ecosystem there. That's, again, we're at about 3 trillion for crypto right now. So 9 trillion. Think about how big that is. Meanwhile, corporate treasuries and exchange trade funds are holding 20 billion worth of Ethereum. Bitmine believes in it. They keep buying. This Tom Lee, he sounds like he's the Michael Saylor of Ethereum, right? Is anybody else got that vibe? All right, what do we got going on here? Man, I got to back it up. All right, Zebekin pulling back a bit. It's time to lock in 2026. Had a great pump. Good news if I can hold till January 6th. Will be good. Can read the article on Zebekin and what it means. Zebekin achievement of iOS 2.00.22 compliance. It posted an article in Discord. Thank you, that one guy. I will go check that out. Because they know Flare about to pop, LOL, and ETH will be reutilized again. Product roadmap and updated tokenomics for 2026. Yeah, we're going to go look at that. Underground, you got to ditch these cheap water bottles. Really bad leaching, billions of microplastics in your water. Just saying. Yeah, you're right, and I know that. It's just that I go through a crazy amount of water, dude. And where am I supposed to get all that water from? That's what I want to know. I saw you with love. Tom Lee is so right. Tom Lee, my cuz, says that one guy. And then Blues Guy said, Tom Lee, a prominent American financial analyst. Strategic. I was going to make a joke there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Strategic and entrepreneur, best known for co-founder and head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisor, Solana at 126, a leading independent research firm where he provides market insight, particularly on equities, digital assets, and macro trends, appearing frequently on CNBC and known for his bullishness. That one guy, yes, bro, you know that, and you still do. Okay, cool. So we'll move on, and I'm caught up on the chat. We continue to be the largest fresh money buyer of Ethereum in the world. And so, yeah, so he's the Michael Saylor of Ethereum. I like it. Now we're going to talk about XRP is quietly forming a spring-loaded supply setup. Frustrated retail traders are completely ignoring. Sure. And if you're frustrated with XR, like, here's the thing. I get it. We all want XRP to go back to what it was at. What did it go to? Like almost $4 or $3.50 or something? I don't remember what the high was. But anyways, oh, here it is right in front of me. I could just look at $3.84. I wasn't that far off. I said $4. If you're frustrated with Ethereum being at $1.88, you probably didn't buy it at 20 cents. You probably didn't buy it at 50 cents. You know, is it amazing? Did it make me a millionaire overnight? Absolutely not. But I'm not down on it. Keep that in mind. All right, let's read the article. XRP is ending 2025 with one of the most paradoxical profiles in the crypto market, thanks to record-breaking institutional inflows colliding with one of the weakest price charts. According to CoinShare data, XRP investment products attracted approximately 70.2 million in net new money in the final trading weeks of December. This pushed its monthly inflow to more than 424 million, making it the best performing crypto investment product of the month. So keep that in mind. It's pushed down in price and they're buying it. The inflow is cranking. That seems like the usual reindeer games that institutions are always playing. Push something's price way down and then load up on it, and then when everybody's pretty much satisfied with being load up, then they let the thing go, and then they start pumping out a bunch of bullish news around it. Right during the month, Bitcoin products recorded 25 million in inflows, while Ethereum shed 241 million in inflows, meaning it lost that, I guess. So here we are, week inflows. This is an interesting chart. Year-to-date flows. And what does stand for? I feel like I should know that. Anyways, you can see XRP month-to-date, year-to-date. So the month-to-date 424, that's what they were saying. 70 of that was just in the week, but you can see which ones are negative. Ethereum negative, Bitcoin negative on the week, on the month. The yearly, they're not negative, right? They're way up on the yearly. Anyways, yet the spot tape tells a sharply different story. According to CryptoSlate's data, XRP traded near $1.87 as of press time, cementing a 15% decline for the month of languishing at the bottom of the performance table for the 10 largest crypto assets. The split between record appetite and regulated wrappers and a sagging spot price suggests the market that it is quietly changing hands, shifting from a retail momentum trader to a model-driven institutional allocation. I mean, that happened a while ago, right? That's not quietly happening. I think that's the quiet part said out loud that most of us who are paying attention already know. ETH inflows, they kind of go into ETH inflows. I thought we were going to talk about XRP here. So the divergence has been building through the fourth quarter, but accelerated significance in the holiday shortened weekends of December. Since mid-October, when U.S. listed spot XRP products began trading, the category has attracted more than $1 billion in net inflows, according to product disclosure and exchange data. And then what is this? A related XRP ETFs absorbed nearly $1 billion in 18 days, yet the price is flashing a major warning signal. So there you go. On December 11th, they wrote a much more negative article. The Canary XRP ETFs has emerged bellwether for this new trade. As the bellwether for this new trade, the fund has gathered more than $300 million in assets since the launch and has set a 2025 record for the first day trading volume among US ETFs, according to SoSo Value data. And yeah, everybody was like, Dogecoin ETFs, XRP ETFs. I think over long term they may do something for us, but I don't think they're really going to do anything for us right this second. All right. So Bankroll said that he put an article about Zebekin. And here we are. And let's go take a look at that article. Okay, that's not the article, apparently. I thought there was going to be an article. All right, this just says Zebek's achievements of ISO 222 compliance in 2025 set the stage for further institutional adoption and broader use case for our real-time finance engine globally. From on-chain payments to fully compliant rails, Zebekin continues building at the intersection of crypto and traditional finance. Ooh, what's going on in this chat real quick? What's XRP? Is it a good coin? Blue Sky, you're hilarious. You're not baiting me into that one. Wind pump. Now Blue Sky's acting brand new. They said in 70, 89, 57, 6 hours, brother. Pump. Nice. Well said. They say it's a banker's coin. Is that right? Blues guy just acting brand new in here. I think that is hilarious. Is it true XRP will go to 10K tomorrow? No, it's going to go to 50K tomorrow. Nah, I'm just playing. We're not the riddlers in here. I'm feeling bullish. Even though I'm bullish on XRP, but $50,000 per XRP. Oh, man. People would lose their mind. What ISO 20022, I think it's gonna be it's gonna get them big listings. Yeah, probably. The whole ISO 222 protocol, or compliance, I should say, not protocol, but compliance, is a very interesting thing. It's not fake. I mean, a lot of people for a hot minute recently were like, that's a bunch of junk. It's not a real thing. It's a real thing. But what it implies, I think, has been a little bit oversold to people, right? What is that going to mean? It's mostly compliance moving forward for if you want to be involved in the new legacy system, I guess, the upgraded legacy system. And in America, they have put up the infrastructure and quietly moved a lot of things into it. You just don't hear about it. Said I looked at Spectra. I prefer SparkDex. Good to know. We're definitely going to be going over SparkDex tomorrow. I think me and Blues both a little lit. Yeah, I think so too. But I love it because it's keeping this chat running and keeping the conversation going. So anyways, I thought this was going to be like some kind of long article. But I peep what they saying here. I peep what they saying. It's hype. It's bullish sentiment. And so these are all the coins that would be considered, at least by coin market cap, ISO 222 compliant. ISO 202. There's like a fast way to say it, and I'm not saying it right. It's been a while since this ISO narrative has really been on my radar, although I've studied it a lot back in the day. XRP, Cardano, Chainlink, XLM, HBAR, Algo, XDC, Quant, IOTA, Zebekin, of course, XPR, Casper, Electro Protocol, and Metal Blockchain. And that's only 14 tokens, right? So it's not that many. And again, this is Casper, like the original one. So it's kind of ugly. I mean, what does the chart look on this thing? Nah, take me to like the monthly. Yeah, this is what I expected from Casper right here. What's the kid who lives in? What's the guy who was very involved with this project's launch that lives in Dubai? It's kind of a small white guy. People gave him a lot of crap for this project as I think he's the one who launched it. He was the one who was involved in it, or maybe they just kind of made him the face of it because he had a really big following. Something to the moon. I don't know. I don't even know if any of what they were saying was true, but they gave him a hard time over that. Anyways, we're moving on, but that was cool. So let's get back into the topic of the night, which is Optimism Superchain. We did our first part. Now we're going to roll into the second part. So what the Superchain actually is. The Optimism Superchain is a network of independent rollups built using OP Stack, coordinated through shared standards and governance. Each chain maintains its own state, its own fees, and its own governance decisions, but shares infrastructure and upgrades where possible. Shared security and Ethereum settlements. All Superchain rollups post data to Ethereum, rely on Ethereum for settlement, and inherit Ethereum's security assumptions. This keeps Ethereum as the root of trust. Shared upgrades and reduced technical debt. One of the Superchain's biggest advantages is synchronized protocol upgrades. Instead of each rollup maintaining separate code bases, upgrades propagate across the ecosystem. This reduces maintenance burdens, improves security, and accelerates feature rollout. Cross-chain interoperability vision. The Superchain is designed to feel like one network. Many execution environments goals include seamless asset transfers, shared messaging standards, and consistent UX across chains. The long-term aim is to make chain boundaries invisible to users, kind of like abstraction, right? Account abstraction, chain abstraction that we've talked about. It's that kind of the beginning of that idea. Economic coordination across the superchain. Optimism introduced retroactive public goods funding as a core economic principle. Revenue generated by superchain rollups can fund open source development, support shared infrastructure, incentivize long-term contributors. This creates ecosystem-level economic alignment rather than zero-sum competition. Governance in the superchain model. So governance is layered. Individual chains govern local decisions. Shared governance coordinates upgrades and standards. The OP token plays a central role in protocol direction, funding allocation, ecosystem coordination. This governance model emphasizes cooperation over sovereignty, major chains and participants in the superchain. So several high-profile rollups are building on the OP stack, including Optimism's mainnet, Base, and other ecosystem-specific rollups. Makes a lot of sense that Arbitrum, which they didn't list here, and Base would build over here because they are layer 2s, just like Optimism is on Ethereum. Other ecosystem-specific rollups. Each chain serves as a different use case while remaining interoperable. Developers experience and tooling. The OP stack prioritizes Ethereum tooling compatibility, Solidity support, which I believe is a coding language, a familiar dev workflow. This lowers friction for team migration from Ethereum or other layer 2s. The trade-off and the criticism. So this is where we maybe get into a little bit of a funner part when it comes to this IQ raising event. I think it's me and Blues both a little lit. Good Jane, yeah, it's hilarious. Me too. UG ISO is a messaging system, nothing more, nothing less, capable to all new banking system. Yeah, I definitely get that, Blues guy. I didn't know that. I think what I was trying to say, if I am right about when you put that post, is I was trying to say the whole ISO 20022 whatever, and I know I'm not saying that the way most people would say it. I don't know why it slipped my mind, but that whole idea of who is compliant with it is been shifted and taken a lot of different places where I don't know if, it's beyond what is maybe true about what it means to be ISO 20022 compliant. Whew. Charles Hutchkin dude made a new coin, LOL night. Yeah. Probably the most happening thing or project in Cardano for a while. So trade-offs and criticism, let's get into it. The superchain model introduces trade-offs: increased coordination complexity, reliance on shared governance, and slower divergence for experimental features. Some developers prefer full sovereignty while others value standardization. The superchain role in Ethereum's long-term roadmap. The superchain aligns closely with Ethereum's vision of modular scaling, rollups as execution layer, Ethereum as settlement and security. Rather than competing with Ethereum, it amplifies Ethereum reach. One thing when it comes to Ethereum security, I love the whole idea of restaking and stuff. We went over restaking completely in one stream, but if you didn't peep that, you might want to go find the stream on restaking. Otherwise, I'll bring it up again sometime. Why the superchain matters beyond optimism. The superchain represents a broader shift from isolated chains to coordinated blockchain networks. This model could influence how future ecosystems design, scaling, governance, and ecosystems. Key insight: Optimism's evolution shows a transition from a single scaling solution to shared blockchain infrastructure. The superchain is less about one rollup winning and more about creating a sustainable, cooperative layer 2 ecosystem. And then you're at the end of all of that. All right, so then let's go over to CoinGecko and actually look at the superchain ecosystem. And they have two different ones for the Optimism Superchain ecosystem and one for just Optimism ecosystem. And we'll take a little bit of a look there and see if there's any difference there. Chainlink, what is Chainlink? Chainlink is an oracle, right? 8.7 billion in market cap. I don't know that we really need to. Do we need to deep dive Chainlink? At least in reference to Optimism Superchain, it might be a cool stream idea to actually just deep dive Chainlink like crazy, but as of right now, we're not going to do that. This is long-winded to say we're not gonna go deep dive Chainlink right now. WorldCoin is one I'm not crazy bullish on it. Maybe some very like futuristic people who want, I don't know, the future to be a chip in your brain tomorrow. Maybe those people are really big on WorldCoin, but personally, I'm good on the WorldCoin. But we will still take a look at it. So I think it's interesting that they put WorldCoin in this Optimism Superchain. It's at 1.3 billion in market cap. The list that we're given for the ecosystem is in market cap, so it's actually ahead of Optimism itself, right? Even though it's supposed to be Optimism's chain. All right, hopefully that mic mute worked. Circulating supply, 2.6 billion out of 10 billion. And then you have this outstanding supply. And I've seen this a couple of times, but I want to read this again because you don't see the outstanding supply show up very often. So it says the amount of tokens that outstanding in the market could be circulated and tradable in public or planned to be circulated or traded anytime soon, excluding token supplies that are not planned for circulation or usage, used to be better understand the current theoretical maximum valuation of the token. But do we even need that? Like, we just need what the max supply is overall and then the circulating supply. I don't know. I haven't studied outstanding supply very much, and maybe we need to do that. So I'm gonna let ChatGPT cook real quick. I keep seeing this on CoinGecko in the tokenomics for projects. Can you break down more what an outstanding supply is referring to in reference to the maximum supply or the circulating supply? Why should I care about the number that's given here? And if we are doing that research live, right? As a group, that is the point of this channel. If I can get back to where I want without clicking every tab. So anyways, this is World Token. MaxChart says that it's been around since July 23rd, 2023 came token generation event. Not the project came out, but the token generation event was around $2.19. We did run up to a high at one point about 2 years ago at $11.74, and you're down 95.8% from that all-time high. That big blow off top there. And yeah, it was only like $11, right? What was the price? It was $11.74. You could buy a WorldCoin all over the place from Bitmart. Affiliate link in the description. If for some reason you need another place to buy, Bitmart keeps improving themselves. They keep getting better and better. I used to use them when they first came out, right? Coinbase Exchange. I mean, you can get this thing anywhere from Phemex to Coinbase. I'm sure it's on Kraken. It's everywhere, right? And let's see, WorldCoin, let's see what kind of followers they have. Yeah, 510,000 followers, so over 500,000 followers. And so their pin post should have good impressions. Yeah, almost 100% impressions there. Now live, Tinder, world verified human page, and privacy preserving age assurance bring back the spark to online dating with authentic connections. Well, I'm out on that because I'm married, so I don't give a dang about that. But it does seem like a good use case for dating apps, right? If you have like this kind of digital ID where like you're locked in and you can really confirm that people are who they are. Maybe we get rid of some catfishing, right? For anybody out there who's been catfished, they probably think that's a great idea. I don't really think I've ever been catfished in my life, but yeah, I digress. Ethereum, I don't know where we're going with that one. Ethereum World Chain, which means they're their own layer 2. They have their own contract address, and Optimism, hence why it's in the Optimism Superchain. I wish it would give us maybe a little more information about why it is a part of this ecosystem. Probably because it's on Ethereum, and so it's integrated with all of those things. Like, here's what I'm saying. What role does World play in the Optimism Superchain, right? As far as what Optimism Superchain is, probably verification, universal proof of human financing connections, forever human. I know a lot of people absolutely hate the idea of a digital ID. Obviously, it's not lost on me, guys. I can see the cons, the drawbacks of having a digital ID. I also can see some use cases, some pluses for a digital ID, right? Maybe you could go somewhere and prove who you were very easily. Maybe you lose your passport. I don't know if anybody's ever heard about like people who go on a cruise, right? And they don't really have a passport. They just have an ID, because say you live in America and you're going somewhere like the Bahamas, which you can go without a passport. But then you like lose your ID, or you lose your passport, your ability to get back on the ship. Well, not only are you not getting back on the cruise ship because you can't prove who you are, you don't have that information, probably don't digitally have a backup of that information to easily get, and you're gonna have a hard time flying out of there as well. Even if you could then like say, okay, I'll just go to an airport and fly back home, you might have some trouble doing that as well. So having a digital ID could be useful for some things. I do like the idea of being able to limit, like we were just talking about, catfish and people who are pretending to be people who they are not. Limiting that is great, but do we want to also remove privacy completely? Do we want to remove the ability to be anonymous completely? I digress. Those are some things to think about. Everybody has to kind of come to their own conclusion on that one and how they feel about it. Whatever happened? I thought everybody was so lit. This chat drying up. Let's run that chat up. Let's go. I appreciate all you guys, and no, you don't owe me anything, but I would like to keep that chat going in some form. I don't care if you just post emojis. It keeps the algorithm sending people in here. So of course, how could we do an Optimism ecosystem deep dive, raise that crypto IQ about what Optimism is, and not actually look at Optimism? I feel like that would be a cardinal sin of some sort. So we got to actually look at Optimism coming in with a cool 524 million market cap, $500 million market cap. A lot of things have come out in the meantime since Optimism, so there's a lot of things that have been stealing Optimism's shine. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Optimism has been able to keep as much money in their market cap as they have been. Let's pull up on this high here for market cap. 4.7 billion was the high back in March 7th, 2024. I actually did sell most of my Optimism probably about here. Yeah, March 26, 2024. Somewhere in this region, I started slowly selling it off. I hope I got this actual top a little bit better. And it was just because I pulled up an old phone and I had a trust wallet on there. And I had like $600 in Optimism, which I had gone up. Obviously, I didn't buy $600 of Optimism. And I was like, cha-ching, cashed it out and went and put it in the stuff that I was more excited about. And in the retrospective, it was a good thing because it's done nothing but go down. It wouldn't be worth $600 nowadays. All right, and then you see this outstanding supply again. On a lot of charts, you don't have that outstanding supply. So, of course, I had just asked ChatGPT about it. So, great question. This is one of those tokenomic terms that sounds obvious, but is easy to misread. And CoinGecko doesn't always explain it clearly. You could say that again, because the explanation that CoinGecko gave me about this, outstanding supply, didn't really make a lot of sense to me, right? The three supplies and how they relate. First, you have a maximum supply. That one we understand. The hard cap on how many tokens can ever exist. We can move on from that, right? Circulating supply. That one we also understand. Tokens that are currently tradable. Outstanding supply is the confusing one. This is a good one. We're dialing. The crypto raising doesn't just stick to the topic of the day. You never know what we're going to come up with when we are deep diving together. So this is the key. Outstanding supply equals tokens that have already been minted and exist, including locked or vested tokens, but excluding tokens that haven't been created. So I believe that what they're saying here is that there are tokens that have been created, but they're locked up or they're put aside for vesting, right? But they've been created, so technically they're out in the manner of the Explorer being minted on the blockchain. But you couldn't necessarily say that they are in the circulating supply yet, because they're not. They're locked up. They're set aside to come out at certain vesting schedules, probably with smart contracts, right, that are in charge of releasing those. And so they're not actually in the circulating supply, but they are created, and they're kind of making that distinction there. And let's see if I got that right. Let's say a project has a billion max supply, an outstanding supply of 600,000, and a circulating supply of 200,000. That means, or million, sorry. I don't know why I was saying 1,000. 200 million is actively traded. 400 million is minted but locked and vested. 400 million not minted yet. All right, if you understand this. So why outstanding supply matters. This is where the alpha is. It tells you how much dilution is already baked in. If outstanding supply is close to max supply, future inflation is limited. This is the sauce right here. When I come on and I'm like, do you understand tokenomics, right? And I'm like, put a 111 in the chat and let me know if you don't understand tokenomics. And then I'm like, you take the circulating supply and you divide it by the market cap, and that gives you the price per unit, price per coin. You call it what you want to call it. Yeah, that whole thing. That's just kind of the most basic understanding of tokenomics, right? But this gets into something a little bit more complex, right? So we talk about the supply being close to the max supply. That's a good thing. But even knowing this outstanding supply, I see why this would be rather useful, right? Because the inflation is basically baked in, as they did say baked in up here. So most dilution risk is already known, right? It's not an unknown risk for most investors. If outstanding supply is far from the max supply, more tokens still coming out. Long-term dilution risk. It helps you spot stealth dilution. Two projects can look identical on CoinGecko. Circulating supply, right? Max supply. So circulating supply 100 million, max supply 1 billion, outstanding supply 900 million with project A. But project B, the outstanding supply is only 300 million. So project A, this one, already has most tokens minted, very few surprises. Where token B still has 600 million tokens yet to be created and has an inflation risk. Circulating supply alone hides this. So if you only look at circulating supply, it kind of hides that inflation risk. It explains future sell pressure. Outstanding supply includes team allocations. So these are reasons why tokens would be minted but not necessarily in the circulating supply. VC vesting, ecosystem incentives. If outstanding is bigger than the circulating, expect unlock events, expect supply overhang, and expect price suppression during vesting periods. This is huge for mid-cap to low-cap plays. It helps you judge fully diluted value lies. People often say fully diluted value is fake, only market cap matters. That's half wrong. Fully diluted value measures max supply, aka the worst case scenario. Outstanding supply tells you how to close the worst case supply, tells you how close the worst case supply already is. If outstanding supply is equal to max, fully diluted value is actually meaningful. If the outstanding supply is much smaller than the maximum supply, then the fully diluted value might be misleading optimism. I'm telling you, you might be dozing off or what. We are 2 hours into the stream, and I am still a little bit lit here. I'm excited about this, but you might be dozing off a little bit, right? And maybe you're not quite getting this, but we'll have to go over this again because this is actually some sauce right here when it comes to tokenomics. So when should you care the most? You should care a lot about outstanding supply. When evaluating new launches, buying a VC-backed token, trading unlocked heavy narratives, comparing two tokens with similar market caps, you should care less about the outstanding supply when tokens have no max supply. Token has slow capped emissions. Token is already 80 to 90% outstanding. So one line mental shortcut. Circulating is what can sell today. Outstanding is what will be able to sell. And max is what could exist someday. We're gonna take that and I'm gonna post it in the Discord because I actually kind of want to make like an infograph out of that. I posted it in what I want everyone to see. Drop a 555 in the chat. 1 if you're still here. 2 if you're following along and still paying attention at 2 hours into the stream. Drop that 555 if you know that we have a tab in the Discord that is what I want people to see. Now, I mostly just post the link to the stream of the day so that when I hit you in the main chat with "We are live now," at everyone, you can quickly just go over to the tab, you know, and get quickly to the stream. I said 111222. So far I got Melissa. Melissa's with me and she's paying attention. Blues Guy was the most recent. Before her. Wow. Hey, you guys are the best, man. I just realized how many emojis you guys threw in here. I was talking, so I actually missed a lot of that. Man, I appreciate the heck out of all of you. That's okay. Should do. Okay, that should do. Yeah, Blues Guy, you guys did great. I appreciate that. You know, Blues, the most confusing ecosystem. You know, at Blues, the most confusing ecosystem, or should I say the most complicated I try to understand, is the Caspa ecosystem. Yeah, it's because it's really new. And to be honest, Caspa launched their, like, you know how you have ERC20 tokens and stuff? They had their KRC20 tokens. And from what I understand, it was a shit show. It didn't go over well. It didn't go well. They didn't do a good job. The Lifer is even... I feel validated to say it like that because the Lifer has even brought it up and said he was pretty much out on being overly bullish on Caspa when they just kind of botched up that whole KRC20 launch because it was really bullish and everybody was talking about like KRC tokens, right? And everybody was like, these KRC tokens are going to be hot because it's a Caspa ecosystem, has a great community, ton of attention. They're rolling out these KRC 20 tokens, which is basically like rolling out smart contracts. You know, we're going to have memes over on KRC 20. They're going to blow up. And the memes did start coming out a little bit, but the ecosystem wasn't handled well with the launch of these smart contracts and KRC 20 tokens. And that just kind of, I think, made everybody look at it a little bit different, and it kind of killed some of the excitement. Now, maybe I'm completely wrong on that. I don't know. Optimism has 740.6 thousand followers. 80,000 impressions since December 4th. What happened? Now, in my book, I think I know what happened here. They've been around for a really long time, since 2018. The majority of people who followed them on Twitter and were excited or invested in Optimism, I bet you a lot of those people have moved on to something else. 1, 2, don't hold a position in Optimism anymore, and so they don't care. But they never took the time to go on their Twitter and unfollow them, right? Because they don't hate them. They're just not invested anymore, and they're not paying attention. And therefore, when they put something out like the Superchain is scaling, empowering 14.1% of all crypto transactions in November, only 80,000 people out of 740,000 people even saw it. Now, is that because of the Twitter algorithm, because I don't know, they don't think people are as interested in optimism, so they didn't show it to people. Because again, impressions is generally people who saw it, right? It was in their feed and they scrolled past it. I mean, that's pretty much impressions, right? I could be wrong about that. Sounds like a great question for ChatGPT. And we might as well just keep the IQ stuff rolling here while I am fired up. I don't know why I'm so fired up, but let's keep going here. When it comes to impressions metric on a post on Twitter, what actually counts as an impression? Is it everybody who saw it, or it was in their feed and they scrolled past it? Trying to understand this. All right, am I keeping up with the chat? I don't know. Wow, this has been an excellent deep dive stream for sure. Thanks. This stuff is interesting. You're absolutely welcome. And I'm very happy to do what I do. I very much love what I do. And honestly, this is what I'd be doing anyways, and sharing it with some people, even if we just have a small community, honestly is amazing. And I don't lose sight of the fact that like we don't have 1,000 people here, so like, you know, it's not fun or something. I enjoy it either way. All right, so let's see what they have to say here. On Twitter or X, an impression is counted whenever your post is loaded on someone's screen, not when they read it, like it, or consciously even notice it. So yeah, like you're scrolling through your feed and you go past it. What counts as an impression? An impression is recorded when the post appears. Someone's home feed, search result, just anywhere, right? I'm not going to read all of that. What doesn't matter? If they read it, if they stop scrolling, if they click it, if they engage with it, like you don't have to do anything. It just has to show up. So this is one thing, if you've ever tried to build on any social media platform or anything like that, this is one thing that will that'll kind of grind your gears a little bit. So pretty much the algorithm on Twitter is controlling who they show it to. You as a content creator have zero, other than maybe trying to do the best things that you can to align yourself with the algorithm and signal to the algorithm that you're worth showing to people. You don't really have any control over who they show it to. So if you put a post out and it gets, 12 impressions, that says that the algorithm only decided 12 people should have a chance of seeing your post. Now, whether they actually stop and read it, follow, interact, like that's kind of irrelevant, right? But will they actually stop and look at your post? If you only got 12 chances to do that, like your feed is you're not going to get 1,000 people as impressions because they have decided that they're not going to show you to people. Now, one thing that is true about it, and I already answered my question here. One thing that's kind of true about it is the fact that like the first round of people that they show it to, TikTok is famous for this because most people on TikTok get stuck, and I'm in there most of the time. Sometimes I get out of it, and they're like 200 to 300 views, right? Because they quickly show it to 100 to 200 people. And you just kind of have to trust the judgment of TikTok. And this is the same for, Facebook Reels, YouTube Reels. They all operate similar, but they have their own algorithms. They just batch it out to like 100 people. And then they kind of look at how those 100 people handled it. And they batch it out to another 100 people, 200 people. And by that point, if like less than a certain percentage, like if less than 5% of people are watching more than 50%, if you're not retaining attention on that, and you're not getting shares, you're not getting likes, you're not getting saves, you're done. You're dead in the water, and they'll never show your thing. It's not like they'll maybe like wait a couple of hours and then show it to a different type of group of people. Like maybe they showed it to a bunch of meme coin maxis, like people who are all over those meme coins. Maybe they thought that was your audience for your video. Say you're on YouTube. It doesn't really matter where you're at. And like it performed poorly, right? Because it wasn't a meme coin. Maybe I'm in here talking about the outstanding supply of a token, and then like meme people are just like, I don't care about any of that. I don't know what tokenomics are. I don't care about none of that. And so they just swipe right past like they don't care. They've never seen you before, right? But why doesn't the algorithm then show you maybe to a different type of crypto interested people, maybe people who watch more crypto educational type content. I don't know. I digress. But it's like you get one shot with your content, especially short form content. And also, none of your time actually counts towards your monetization. Once you're monetized, obviously you can make some money. You can get monetized for the amount of views you get on a short content, but you can't necessarily get retention from it. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, the Caspa KRC20 where tokens and memes suck, but I like Caspa. Yeah, I mean, Caspa was supposed to be really solid, but I really feel like the rollout of the KRC20 and the smart contracts was like the beginning of Caspa really doing something, and they botched it up. Or just public sentiment overall when it came to it wasn't good. Whether it was warranted or not, I don't know. Let's go look at Optimism's website here. Guess you have to agree to the terms before they're going to let you see anything. The future of finance isn't on their chain. It's on yours. Launch your own blockchain. Should we have the underground crypto blockchain? And capture the upside of every transaction. Powered by Optimism, secured by Ethereum. Exchanges. Be more than just an on-ramp. So if we launched our own underground crypto or underground blockchain, I feel like, one, the name would imply that we're doing something we're not supposed to be doing. So that's not cool, but it is what it is. It's good branding. It maybe brings in some attention, but maybe not from the people who you want attention from. Anyways, I digress. But we take the underground and we make our own blockchain here on Optimism, and it's all about crypto education. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Then because I've been looking for a good use case for a token if we create one. And then also, I just thought of it. I don't even know if I should say this on the internet, but it's all good because if somebody beats me to it, at least it'll be there, right? Or you know what? I'll save it. We'll talk about it in the voice chat or something like that. We'll talk about it in the Discord. So Optimism powers 50% of all crypto transactions. 50% or 50 plus powered chains. Sorry, I'm thinking about my idea here. I got to get off of that. 62% layer 2 market share, 24 million transactions per day, and 17 billion total assets secured. Optimism powers 50% of all crypto transaction. The OP stack is already processing millions of transactions and serving hundreds of millions of users trusted by leading financial and consumer platforms. All right. So OP stack is a fully open source modular framework. So again, it seems to me from what I understand that Optimism really led the way and created this whole modular blockchain, modular idea within a blockchain, right? Built for teams launching blockchains. Flexible and configurable, it can be adopted as a whole or integrated layer by layer. So is that the move to launch your blockchain over on OP? I'm really interested in that. And I'm not actually worried about anybody stealing my idea because I live in abundance. If somebody steals it and they do great, good for them, and I'll just come up with another good idea because I can do that. Always been good at that. So here's the idea. So the blockchain is about crypto education, right? And the app is a platform for different classes in crypto education, taking a lot of the content even that we do type of thing, polishing it up and making it like a class, right? And even come up with some kind of credit system or something that's mostly fictitious and just for us, but is also over time as it builds could mean something, right? It's like getting a trophy. It's made of plastic, but it looks cool and you feel like you did something. But at the end of the day, it's a piece of plastic. The same way that, certain things you get in life are just a piece of paper. Anyways, and then you use the currency to actually buy though, like you have to convert into the currency and you use the currency on the platform in order to actually buy access to those classes. I think it's a dope idea, but it would take some work. We'd need some people for it. Solid info. Keep going. Stop when you're about to pass out. Just kidding. Yeah, I know. We're just rolling tonight. And it's because because we've been long, like I could just be like, all right, guys, we've already been at 2.5 hours. So we're just not going to talk about the main point of the stream, which is Optimism's ecosystem. I don't want to do that because now, in my opinion, we're just getting to the point where this is the funner part of the ecosystem deep dive. Of course, we had to have our IQ raising event and understanding of what Optimism is, where it came from, its history, how it got started, how it's the OG in the optimistic layer or modular concepts, and it started on Ethereum, which is obviously the OG of blockchains. Now, aside from Bitcoin, of course. Now we're getting into like CeeLo, Cyber, Lisk, Orderly, Ancient 8, which is relatively new, Mode, which is really interesting. These are all really cool projects. You know, the projects like WorldCoin and Optimism that we looked at already. I don't know. It's more exciting when you get turned on to a project that's really cool, that has a great idea, that solves an awesome solution in the world of whatever, real world blockchain, and you've never heard of it before. That's more fun to me. 85.3% down on the max chart. This is CeeLo. And right off the bat here, it is from May 21st, 2020, a billion token max supply. Here we go with the outstanding supply. I'm glad I took the time to research, and I'm never afraid to look stupid on my own stream and admit that I don't know something about something, because now I know about it. Now I can talk about it better. Anyways, market cap 70.8 million. The outstanding token value. So now once I understand what the whole outstanding concept is, then I can easily understand this outstanding token value. The one thing I wonder is if CoinGecko is actually starting to put more metrics over here in the tokenomics, because, you know, all of a sudden I started seeing outstanding supply, and now this is the first time I've ever seen outstanding token value. And you guys know how often I do this on stream. You can imagine how often I look at these things off stream, and I've never seen that before. So maybe it's just me, maybe it's just per project. Anyway, so if the outstanding supply is 661.2 million and the circulating supply is 589.4 million, there's not a huge discrepancy when you put into perspective the numbers that we're talking about here out of a billion, right? So that's why the market cap, the actual market cap, and the outstanding token value, which would be like what the market cap would be if all of these, you know, outstanding supply, I believe is what they're trying to say here. So outstanding token value is the theoretical value of a cryptocurrency project using only the tokens that are currently outstanding in the market rather than the maximum possible supply. Got it. Anyways, there's very little discrepancy. It's only about, you know, a little less than 9 million more than the actual market cap. That's what I was really trying to say there. And TM Hustlin' and Blues Guy, you guys have talked a lot about maybe helping me build something. That idea that I just came up with, that's the way to go. Blues Guy, you could have your own classes on there just talking about all the cool stuff that you find about Flare and all the new stuff coming out and keeping up on it. And you could be on the platform and you could even get paid from that, brother. So keep that in mind. But first, we kind of have to build the whole thing up, right? All right, let's go to CeeLo.org. Let's check this bad boy out. And before we even get wrapped up in this, let's go down to the categories. First of all, it's a smart contract layer or a smart contract platform, but that does not automatically mean that it's a layer 1. It's actually a layer 2. And so it's proof of stake. It's in the Optimism Superchain ecosystem, of course, and it's made in the US. A lot of times I skip these portfolios. It's a very stock trader kind of thing to do, to be like, oh, this is in JP Morgan's portfolio. If you think highly of JP Morgan, if you think they're smart and they have good picks, well, then you're going to go buy that coin. Or, sorry, it'd be a stock. It wouldn't be a coin. But you get what I'm saying. Maybe some people play crypto like that, but I don't think it's as predominant. All right, back to the website here. CELO is the leading Ethereum layer 2. As the frontier chain for global impact, we're scaling real-world solutions for all. And I swear I've been to this website before. Yeah, I definitely have. 1 billion total transaction. Monthly stable coin volume is 3.5 billion and 748,000 daily users. I don't know how big that web is, right? I don't know how big is the net that they're capturing how many users are there. Average block time 1 second. Average gas fee is 0.001. Is that better than XRP? I don't even know, but that's amazing. I love that. The stuff that really matters. You're trying to move money around. CELO, if you're in a optimism ecosystem, you're probably going to choose CELO. I like that. CELO's core component: OP stack layer 2, Aegon. Aegon. I like Aegon. Data availability volume 2. I never know what to call this thing. It's a newer project, actually. It's been around for a little while now, but it is a newer project. ZK, zero knowledge EVM via succinct SP1. Succinct is an interesting project. So if you really get nitty gritty, you get technical, you get a little bit more dialed into the projects that actually make up the Optimism Superchain. Although there's only like 14 projects listed here on CoinGecko, there's probably a few more that are loosely related. It's actually, a lot of them are really interesting stuff. Like, a lot of them are interesting projects, like Succinct, if you know what that is, or this Aegon had a lot of different things associated with it or affiliated with it. So pay for gas with tokens. So this was one thing that we went over in some of our deep dives, was how wallet abstraction and what was it? Not the Fasuka upgrade, but the idea where now you could pay, like if you need to pay for an Ethereum transaction, but you don't have ETH in your wallet. One of the big drawbacks, especially if you're playing around with, like, you don't have a lot of money, you have $20, $30, right? Well, if you only have $20, $30 and that's all you're messing with, then having to actually move money or something like that from a different coin into ETH to pay for the gas fee will cost you a bunch of money. And then once you get it into ETH, then you got to do like the transaction you were originally trying to do in the first place, and that'll cost you more money. So if you only have $30, you might have enough, money to get into ETH. Say you have more like $100, right? You have enough to maybe get to ETH, and then by the time you do your second transaction, the thing you were really trying to do in the first place, like, you have dwindled your money down a lot. I know, because I've been there. I've done it. The purpose-driven blockchain ecosystem building a $1 trillion on-chain economy. How CELO is different, scalable and secure, designed with payments in mind. The place for Sybil? I don't even know what the heck word that is. Somebody, Blues guy, where are you at? Where's my mod at? Can you tell me what the definition of this Sybil word is? Because I'm not even going to pretend like I know what the heck that means. All right. It says underground. Yes. Tell me. Wait. Nice. What am I supposed to do there? Do I tell you or tell me? Okay. We'll be talking, Blues guy. We got a lot of talking to do tomorrow or later tonight or whatever. I was kicking someone out of the building. Blues guy, the bouncer. Y'all don't know. Blues guy is also the bouncer of an apartment complex nightclub. I made that up. Big time made that up. I don't know what he's doing bouncing people out because I'm the building manager of 9 units, and there was a crazy yelling lady in the building. Hello, can you repeat what you spoke about, sir? Absolutely, I can. So, did you hear the part where I was saying I have this idea? Because we've talked several times, and I know we're going to talk about CELO. Blues guy says underground on fire tonight. Yeah, the last 2 streams have been amazing, and I'll tell you why at the end of the stream. But anyways, I've been having this idea where, like, yeah, I want to make an app. I want to have the blockchain was something random I just saw that you could do, but it made sense maybe to wrap it together. I don't really need my own blockchain, but it'd be cool for branding, right? But I really wanted to have an app and have a coin and stuff like that, but And we've talked about it, right? TM Hustlin', Blue Sky, we've talked about it back and forth. They really have some cool ideas, and I like it moving forward, branding the channel and stuff, and crypto education as well. But there had to be a reason, right? I'm not going to go to pump.fun and just launch a token called Underground Crypto and like, what am I going to put on the website? Like, buy this because I want the royalties, like I want the IP funds from it that Bankroll's always talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I gonna go do that if I have no point? But now I have an idea. Now I have a reason to build out an app or just something that's about the app would be for crypto research, right? And then we'd have our own currency, and the currency would be, you know, and if you could easily make your own little blockchain, it's probably just a forked code, basically just taking a code of a blockchain you already like, copy and pasting it, and kind of making a forked version. It's not affiliated with what you copied, but the code is relatively the same, right? So it could pretty much run in that same vein forever, just with the code that it had with, you know, it'd be up to you if you upgraded it. So now you have the blockchain, you could do different stuff. Then you launch the app on the blockchain, you get it in mobile, and it's all about crypto education. And then the currency is the basically the currency that you use in platform to buy courses. So the courses would be set up almost like independent and separate. You know, it'd be like a course on it could be real basic to start with, and it would be cheap because it's really basic and small. It might start with like, what is DeFi? You know, a class on words specific to crypto that you need to know. What is a layer 1? What is a layer 2? Understanding the different layers would be like the class. Blues Guy could do one on like, what is the Flare, how does the Flare ecosystem work, all the different projects. And I'm just saying he could do something like that, put it together, because it's already his passion and what he wants to kind of get the world to understand. That's why Blues Guy is so locked into this channel, because in his own way and the things that he likes to do, he very much shares the enthusiasm and incentive for crypto education. I think that's amazing. So he could even have some classes on there, and he could make some dough, and we could even bring in other crypto creators and stuff who are more centered around crypto education, and we could basically have a platform where they do it. Of course, there's platform fees. You know, if we have a creator on there, you're taking a certain amount of percentage of every transaction, just like every single application pretty much out there. You know, Coinbase takes a fee, Maxi Global takes a fee, everything takes a fee. You know, that's how these platforms work. I work in a lot of clothing resale and stuff like that. So at the same time, all of those platforms, all they did was provide a platform for people who already wanted to reach people to sell their stuff, and then they take a fee for it. All they did was build the platform, and they are making hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, you got to think about how much money people involved with eBay have made. Think about that. That's one that most people know. If I start talking about like Poshmark and, you know, Macari and stuff like that, Depop probably don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's get in here and look at this chat. He says, Underground on fire tonight. I can't stand gas fees. Can't wait until they stop using that. Yeah, a lot of people say that, you know, gas fees secure the network and stuff like that. Very interesting. Hello, bro. I used to be Champs Karate back in the day. Hey, that's nice. Karate's pretty cool. I've mentioned before how I've done about 20-ish years of martial arts in my life. So much energy. You guys are giving me energy. Hey, I love it. And Blues Guy came through, and he gave me what? Cybele? I think it's Cybele, right? Meaning a female prophetess or oracle from ancient Greece, delivering divine messages. Okay. I don't think that's what they were getting at, though. So the place for female prophetess resistant applications? I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Now, the one thing that sticks out to me here is Oracle. So the place for Oracle resistant applications, why would you... Can I click on this? Can you give me more information? Leveraging self protocols, privacy preserving, proof of human and identity ZK proof. That doesn't sound like it has anything to do with oracles at all. I'm going to just move on from that. We tried, right? We tried to go the extra distance and understand what it means. We can do an app. Whatever you choose to do, I'll support it. Hey, who has some some talent in that place, come together, and I'll make sure everybody gets compensated. It's used as a name symbolizing wisdom, foresight, mystical, popular in Christian tradition due to silence foretelling Christ's coming. Yep. Underground, you amazing man. Let's do it. Go. Wow, that's freaking smart, man. You got something gold here. Hey, let's do it. Seriously, Underground, let's do it, man. Hey, I'm all with it. I can't stop smiling. Great idea. Yeah, I think it is a great idea. I knew it would come to me, what to do with a coin and stuff. And I'm glad I waited and didn't get, jump the gun there. And we can build that up slowly in the background. Anybody is welcome to be a part of it who wants to be a part of it. And, that's kind of the payoff. If it does anything and there's money to be made there, it's great for the channel and the branding and all of that stuff. But also it's very, it's a great payoff for people who came into this channel and were a part of the community, and an opportunity opened up. We'll see what happens. The latest in CeeLo ecosystem, proof of ship. I don't know, what is a proof of ship? It's like a play on words or something. Well, what is proof of ship? I've never heard of this one. Proof of ship is a monthly program for builders to grow their on-chain reputation and earn rewards in the CeeLo ecosystem. Each month, builders prove, and these are like builders, I guess, would be developers, showcase progress and earn rewards. Your on-chain reputation unlocks access to grants, retro funding, airdrops, and other funding opportunities. Start growing your on-chain reputation. Sign up for proof of ship here. Why join? Build your own on-chain reputation, earn monthly rewards, and get get your project seen. Okay, so this proof of ship is some kind of project where they're doing stuff with people who create things. It's not like a new consensus mechanism for a blockchain, which is what I thought it was, but it's not. Mini apps on CeeLo. So launch your app where the users already are. Reach millions of stablecoin users with zero friction. MiniPay gives you the infrastructure, audience, and context to scale. Submit your app. Developer terms of service. So MiniPay, they have their own card. Who doesn't have their own Visa card nowadays? What is this? I mean, we're going to have our own Visa card on our app too, because apparently getting your name slapped on a Visa card is a genius idea for Visa. Like they're like, we don't care if this like somehow looks like it's your card. It's a Visa card. It's just a Visa card, and they're making money. Visa's making money, right? And you're like, you can sell it. You could take it and sell it. It's like an affiliate program. You could take it and sell it to any community you want, and you're just helping us spread our Visa card. Anyways, that's what I think that's about. Because you go on to all these websites, it'll be like a absolutely nobody coin that like nobody's ever heard about, and they're like, and check out our card, and it's like, okay, why do they have a Visa card? It's just a rebranded Visa card. That's my opinion. Hot take of the day. Tell me I'm wrong in the chat. Everyday utility powered by stablecoins. Mini apps and MiniPay power real world use case, all embedded directly inside the wallet. No wallet setup, no extensions, no extra steps. And here we are with the mini apps. We got Polka Markets, which is probably affiliated with Polkadot, right? Prediction markets for everybody. Did you notice that like Polymarket, I believe they changed the law and Polymarket came out allowing a lot more, I guess, gambling on random ideas and factoids. And you're basically predicting what's going to happen and winning if you're good at predicting, right? Then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to be involved in prediction markets. But I think what sparked the whole thing was a change in legislation, right, on the, at least in America, on the federal level. Could be wrong on that. Don't breathe what you're drinking. Let's see. Seabill. Oh, he's telling me I'm totally saying it wrong. I'm sure it is. Blues karate champ, breaking skulls one flare at a time, right? Proof of ship. That's funny. Yeah, it's hilarious. Evening deep divers, please don't forget to tap that like button and subscribe to the channel. Then join the Discord right here. There's the link. It's also pinned in the top if you are. I think we have mostly seasoned veterans in here right now, but if you're not and you're just hopping in, smash that like button, subscribe. We're rolling into like 2.5, 3 hours of being live here, whatever it is. And yeah, join the Discord. It's free. Underground, you did good by giving Bankroll a corner in the Discord and showing us charts in TA. Amazing. Yeah, for anybody who has something that they're into, I mean, Melissa is even also welcome. Melissa likes to post about stuff that's very specific to her. Let me give you a tab in the channel. Now, at some point, obviously my OGs, my day ones who were here when nobody was, you guys are going to be able to keep your tab. Maybe not everybody could get a tab. Maybe we'll start more selective tabs and groups of people can interact in them as the Discord continues to take off. But you know, I certainly want to reward those who were here with me in the beginning. Go look at the people who were there with Lifer in the beginning. If you are somebody who has paid access to his Discord, they're still there. They're integrated, and they're a part of what he's doing, even to this day. So I really love that idea. You got to reward those who supported you. Absolutely. And Bankroll's an awesome dude. I've spent hours talking to him. I know that he is a genuine person. And anybody can deceive you, you know, that's my disclaimer. But from my my analytics of people, I say he's a genuine good dude. So yeah, Bankroll got his own little corner in the Discord. Awesome. Yeah, we put that together last night. Underground, win merch. I don't know. I mean, I love our tight-knit community. I guess I get some merch. I guess I'll sell, like, you know, like, I don't know. We got 9 people right now in here. I got the chat pulled up on my phone, so it's at least it's more like 8 people, if not like 7, right? We're gonna sell 7 shirts and 7 coffee mugs. Like, I mean, I'm all for it, but that'll have to come at some point. Anyways, I'm not trying to downplay it. We will get some merch rolling. Pay local bills and a top airtime. Pay local merchants effortlessly, complete tasks and earn stablecoin rewards. Yo, I hate these apps, bro. Anybody ever played a game and then in it was like wanted to give you like the game currency, whatever game you're playing, in-game currency for basically like downloading a different game, and then you got to get to like level 4 or something, and then they're going to give you like, you know, thousands of gold coins in the game you're playing, and you're like, I like this game I'm playing, so I'm going to go do that just to get a bunch of free currency. But it's like a never-ending cycle, and they always have all this stuff that they want you to do. Next thing you know, you've downloaded like 35 games you don't care at all about, and then it'll be like get to level 4, and level 1 and 2 and 3 will be really easy, but to like get to level 4 will be like 10 times the amount of time and effort it took to get to level 3. You see what I'm saying? It's a setup a lot of the time. So a lot of times I can't stand these things. Let's go. Can I click on this? Will it take us there? Come on. All right. So clicking on them does absolutely nothing. I guess you'd have to go look up all of these things individually. Learn and earn. This is pretty cool. I could spend all day deep diving this ecosystem, but if I do that, we will never make it to what is the next token. Tell me if you think this stream is too long right now. Is this stream too long? Merch with members' faces. I like that idea. 7 mugs. Oh, yeah, bud. 7 mugs is better than 0. Like, I wasn't trying to downplay it. Like, it'd be cool. And I don't mind selling 7 mugs. That would be cool. And just the idea that somebody's drinking coffee out of a underground crypto mug is cool. That's pretty dope. But I don't know. In my mind, I guess I was thinking that merch should come a little bit later and we have a bigger following. But I'll go ahead and launch it because once it's there, it's there. So bells and whistles sometimes is cool, and add the whole context and idea. No, stream is great. Thanks for saying that, Blues Guy. I'm glad that everybody's sticking with me. Let's look at cyber. What is cyber, right? Dang, and I just had something I wanted to look up, and I already forgot what it was. It's not coming back to me. All right. So 85 cents Cyber is down 81.7% since its all-time token generation. I don't know why I said all-time. Since its token generation event. Let's put it that way. $4.67, August 14th, 2023. $14.45 was the all-time high. Close enough either way. And it's chilling at 47.5 million in market cap. Let's look at that all-time market cap. So $214 million. So it's dropped. It's dropped a decent amount. Remember when it says max chart, I got to reload it, down 85%, they're referring to the price that it was from the token generation event, right? Not the high. If you want to look at how far it was down from the high, you scroll down and you say, right here, all-time high was actually $15.79 over 2 years ago. It's actually down 94.5%. And what in crypto doesn't look like this? Very little, right? Most things that don't look like this are because they haven't been around as long as this, right? Artificial intelligence, AI, smart contracts, SocialFi, which is a platform that nobody, two things in crypto that I would say it doesn't seem like anybody can get right. Decentralized social media, and what's the other one? Play to earn gaming. Nobody's nailed it yet. I see a lot of the gaming. I see a lot of people moving more towards play to own, and that seems to work better. But play to earn just seems like it gives out more money than they can put in. Anyways, that's not what we're supposed to be talking about, so I'm going to shut up about that. Governance, AI applications. This thing is all about AI. And we're going to go to their Twitter and then the website, and we're going to see what that is all about. So the social data layer for crypto AI and next generation apps, powered by Surf AI, the first AI model built for crypto markets. And Link3to, the gateway to on-chain profiles. That must be the social media aspect of it. So they have 583,000 followers. Sometimes I'm just completely surprised by how many followers they have. They must have did good marketing, or it's probably the social media aspect of it that kind of got people excited or fired up. One thing we could do with projects that we really care about, tomorrow would be a good time to kind of roll this out, would be to go into their communities. I bet in the communities is where we have a little bit more niche or specific information. Anyways, 583,000 followers. Pinned post from December 10th makes it 20 days ago. And it only has 19,000 impressions. That's a little lackluster. And it kind of reminds me of the whole idea of Optimism as well. Been around for a really long time. It says they joined the September 2021. I'm trying to say four things at one time. I don't know where all this energy is coming from. But anyways, a lot of people probably followed them in the early days, and now people don't really care. So now when they post, they get 19,000 impressions. And again, we talked about how 19,000 impressions is the algorithm in X only showed this post to 19,000 people. And probably the first 10,000 or the first 15,000 didn't interact with it, didn't like it, didn't repost it, didn't comment, didn't stop and read it, although they said that they don't measure if you stop and read it. But I bet you they measure if you like it or comment. I bet you they measure that. Or if you repost it, stuff like that, or share it. And so then they slow down and they're like, okay, nobody cares about this. We're not going to show it to anybody anymore. But at the same time, it tells you people probably followed this way back in the day. And then now when they come across stuff, they're like, oh, cyber, yeah, that coin from back in the day. And they just keep scrolling, right? So the core thesis, pause, absolutely murdered that word, rest in peace. The core thesis behind cyber has always been crypto applications become more useful and engaging when they combine social context with on-chain activity. What became clear over time was that the real unlock wasn't where the data lived. It was whether the data was actually, show me more. Don't show me this much. Where were we? crypto applications become more useful and engaging when they combine with context on-chain activity. What became clear over time was the real unlock wasn't where the data lived. It was whether the data was actually usable. Social data and on-chain data each carry a lot of value, but they largely exist in isolation, or siloed, if you will, because you keep seeing that term everywhere. Without unifying or structuring them, building richer applications becomes unnecessarily complex. That realization drove Cyber. So here they just outlined kind of what the problem is that they're trying to solve as a company. That realization drove Cyber's evolution into a unified data and identity layer. The focus shifted to making social and on-chain data work together seamlessly, transforming raw activity into structured, high-quality inputs that modern applications, especially AI native ones, can reason over. It's a weird way to put it, can reason over, like the reasoning of AI, I guess. Surf emerged from this direction. By combining Cyber unified data layers with specialized AI models and agents, Surf showed what becomes possible when data is actually usable. With rapid adoption and $15 million raised are not just milestones for Surf, but external validation of the problem Cyber set out to solve. The takeaway is simple. Unifying social and on-chain context is critical to the next generation of crypto applications. If you're building crypto-native apps that need richer context or AI that can reason over crypto data, build on Cyber and use Surf's AI model. Play to earn. Play dough earn. I like that. Stream is great. It's pronounced Cyber. I don't like it. I'm going with Cyber. Thanks though. Oh, kidding, bro. Wow, you're hilarious. You're gonna have me saying something crazy. I see what you're doing. Play to earn. Hey, Underground, if you want, can you tell us about Beefy? You never got a chance the other day. Okay, so here's what the Beefy thing was. I came across it really quickly, and I kind of thought it was cool, and I posted it in the Discord. I didn't spend a lot of time looking at it necessarily. I planned on going back and looking at it, but I never quite made it over that. You gotta and I know we all are. It's not me specific, but you know, I'm bombarded by like a million things every day, and then I'm attention redirected by whether my wife or my child like every 5 minutes. But because what is all business and stuff, and of course, a kid, like it's hard to be like, stop bothering me, because I'm supposed to be helpful in the business, and I like to think that I am. AKA, I got a lot of stuff going on. But we will look at Beefy. Let me get through. Well, Beefy will be the icing on the cake at the end. I want to get through some more of this ecosystem stuff. Let's look at Lisk. Now, one thing I want to say is that Beefy was on top trending one of the days that we weren't streaming, right? Through the holidays. It might have been Christmas or Christmas Eve or something. I don't remember what it was. But I was really hoping that it was a project that would stay trending, and then like the next time we did our, you know, Mystery Monday or Sunday check-in or whatever it was, it would be there, and then we would go over it, and then it was gone, and therefore we didn't talk about it again. So Lisk, ticker LSK, is at 19 and at high 19 cents, almost 20 cents right now. The max chart says that it's been around from April 5th, 2016. This thing has been out for a hot minute. $44.7 million in market cap, 400 million max supply. That's actually not so bad. And circulating supply is 225.6 million tokens, and there's no outstanding. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, the outstanding stuff is not always here. It's just here for some and not others. I mean, I think it's obvious if they don't have the information, then they can't give it to you. So let's look into what the all-time highs are here. And this is in market cap. For anybody who doesn't know, up here you have a live chart, market cap, and price. I have the chart set to measure market cap. That should make sense, right? So at the height here of January 6, 2018, it had about $4 billion in it. Again, there wasn't as many projects competing with Lisk at that point, right? And it's a lot. This industry moves so fast. Like, you have to stay innovative. You have to stay trendy. You got to stay marketable. You got to capture idea. And it's funny because we did a stream about why a lot of crypto projects die. And they talked a lot about, coins and projects, whatever you want to call them, jumping ship. And it's like they come out as, a liquidity provider for this network. And then the next thing you know, they're like, no, we're AI. And then they're like, but we have also a decentralized exchange. And that decentralized exchange is ran by an autonomous AI agent. And they're like trying to be in every category. It doesn't work for most of them because most of them can't actually produce the product at a high level quick enough to satisfy the market before the market already moves on to something else, right? And so I don't blame them for trying because it's a hard space. Like, you were just the liquidity provider for the hottest chain in crypto, and 2 weeks have gone by and you're irrelevant in the public eye. To the retail sentiment, they already forgot you existed because, AI came out, and who cares about a liquidity provider over on Ethereum? We have AI now. You see what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes a desperate grasping at straws, and it's hard to blame them for doing it, right? Because they will fade off into irrelevancy a lot of the time if they don't do something. Maybe there's a better approach. So it's a layer 2 on the Optimism Superchain. We know that. And now we can kind of get into stuff. Do they have a YouTube? They do have a YouTube. It's very interesting. So let's go to Lisk.com. Let's take a look at, they're on Ethereum base and Lisk. They're their own, not layer 1, but they're a layer 2, but they're their own layer. They have their own contract address is really what I'm trying to get at here. So before we even go to the website, let's go take a look at the Twitter. And I think it's going to be a lot like the Optimism and Cyber that we looked at, where they have a lot of followers, but their impressions are bad. Boom, called it. So 291.8 thousand followers. December 22nd, which is what, 22nd, 18 days ago. And they have 18,000 impressions. So this guy, Max Cordex, has returned as a CEO to Lisk. Do we care about that? I don't know. Max Codex returns as full-time CEO and goes all in on Lisk. Today, we are strengthening Lisk with a bigger team. So it's kind of cool to see that they're still posting. It's kind of cool to see that they have 9,926 posts. They almost have 10,000 posts. That's crazy. But it's cool to see that, I don't know, that they're still doing something. Somebody's still coming over, and hopefully, if he's returning as a CEO and he's coming back, like, hopefully he's passionate. Hopefully he wants to build and be innovative, and maybe the guy he's replacing wasn't, and that's why he's replacing him. I don't know. But, let's hope that they still do stuff. It's sad to see when projects kind of lose their enthusiasm and just kind of fizzle out, and nobody really cares about the goal that they were trying to do. Or nobody no longer believes in it, or no longer believes it's relevant. Somebody's already solved it and did a better job and beat them to it. Let's move on. Let's take a look at the website. So the growth platform for EM founders. Across Africa, Southeast Africa, Latin America, we've combined local programs, a 15 million fund, and an Ethereum aligned layer 2 so you can build locally and scale globally. We were going over this project, I don't know, it literally might have been yesterday. This was trending recently, like within a week ago. Your next stage unlock, comprehensive end-to-end mentorship for sustained and unstoppable growth, personalized funding paths and platform-linked financial rewards, a community paired with in-person retreats where new strategies are forged. Seems a little interesting. I remember this map a lot because it showed you like what they had going on in Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, and then you could just hit global and it would just do this. And I don't know what this means at all, right? What is the point of the global one? I don't know. Let's see. Can you even click on these? So you can't click on it. What do they have? 2 teams, 2 offices. They have 2 computers. Like they have 1 computer, and I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Our regional incubator. Okay, so they're incubators. I could have just read it. I'm always poking fun at people. So put support where it counts. On the ground with you, we help refine your products, grow your users, and unlock investor capital where you're ready to scale. So they're all about incubating different projects. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of people who are ambitious to work with them. Because like they have one project in South America and 2 projects in like Asia. Like that's not a lot. So seed capital, access up to $250K to reach product, market fit, sharpen your vision, and build momentum. You think they give us $250K to build our project? Probably not. Built for real world use, secured by Ethereum. The evolution of Lisk DAO, what are tokenized funds, ready to launch. Deploy your app on Lisk today and become part of the ecosystem. That sounds cool, but like, I don't think anybody cares about things listed. Like if I was like, we were just talking about doing something right with an app and this and that and the other. I don't really think that launching on Lisk would be the move, right? I think we need to launch. I think a lot of people would tell you to be launching on Solana. There's a lot of hype there, but Solana is kind of like meme coin hype in my opinion. Like I want more like base blockchain hype, like some innovative, technical devs type vibe. As I feel base, I don't know. Does anybody agree with this? That base feels a little bit more like high value building, and then Solana feels more like degen memes. I don't know. Maybe you have a different take on that. And of course, I am completely oversimplifying it. There's both on both platforms. Don't get me wrong. That is not lost on me. Keep saying that. Sometimes you just get stuck on catchphrases. Wow, we have a lot more projects to go over. We're going to do this a little bit faster, I guess. So Orderly. I guess we're going to be here for another 2 hours. Orderly, 56% down on the max chart. And what I'm going to do to go through this a little bit faster is I'm not going to do the regular little breakdown. We've been over Orderly many times. I'm just going to talk about the market cap, and then we're going to get into the project. 32.9 million in market cap for Orderly. Who here has ever heard of Orderly? Let me know in the chat if you've ever heard of this. The permissionless liquidity layer for Web3 trading, powerful SDK seamless integration for builders, unified liquidity, superior performance for traders, with all the stuff going on in decentralized exchanges. It seems like maybe they were like one of the first, or they built their stuff in a specific way. That's right. They won't let me look at it because I'm in America, I guess. All-time high of 49 cents 3 months ago. They're down 81.2% from there. Let's go to their Twitter. Like I said, we're going to roll through this a little bit faster. There is no Twitter. Easy. That made that even quicker. Because they wouldn't really let us look at the decentralized exchange, kind of made it so we couldn't go over it as well. But Orderly is basically an exchange. 20.7 million in market cap. This has smart contracts. It is a layer 2 play to earn gaming. And I remember going over Ancient 8. Ancient 8 hasn't really been out that long, if I'm correct here. Since July 16, 2024, it was just trending. I want to say that it was like this pump over here. Right here, if you can see where I'm at. That little pump right there, I think is when maybe it caught a little bit of buzz and was trending again. It was in the top gainers, top losers one of the days, which reminds me we haven't even gone over the top gainers, top losers today. All right. So let's go take a look at their website because they say that they're gaming. So that would be kind of cool. But I've checked it out before and I didn't really see any actual games. So the Super Gaming Chain. Ancient 8 is a gaming-focused Ethereum Layer 2 built to redefine your Web3 gaming experience. Start building. Launch the app. I think that's where we're going next. Fueled by Ancient 8 on-chain power. Here's their analytics if you care to see it. Ancient 8 has championed dynamic on-chain gaming experience, redefined Web3 gaming with fully on-chain games, games on X, games on Telegram, IP-infused games, AI-powered games. Okay. Yo, you know what would be cool for our app that we do about crypto education? The airdrop would literally be like, I guess would be like, we'll do like some very simple courses, like crypto IQ courses, and then like if you pass them and get the credit for it, like that's how we'll decide how we do the airdrop. That would be really cool. Oh wow, I am not up to date on this chat. Melissa going ham. Everybody going ham with the emojis there. Thank you so much this late in the game for doing that. Oh snap, we are semi all-nighter. Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys for keeping up with the interaction in the chat. We got 12 people here, but where is Bankroll? Bankroll, where you at? I think Bankroll might have passed out on his couch. He's been going at it all day. Build on the edge of gaming. All right, where are the games? This is where we get to the point where it's all right. You've talked about it enough. You've revolutionized Web3 game, like all this stuff. Where are the games? Where are the games that I can play? Because these are the only games that I can find. And a lot of them you just can't actually play. I want to play PokeQuest, all right? But then you come here, and it's like, what I think actually it turned out that it was built on Telegram. So you have to go to Telegram. We're not going to go to Telegram right now. Because then I'd have to port us over to Telegram, and that always seems to not work somehow. So but look at the game. This is probably like exactly how the game looks, right? Two-dimensional. And it keeps changing so fast, it's a little hard for me to make my point. But you can see it's two-dimensional. The things are, like, all they really do is change the background and then, like, the simple character. Like, very little is going on here. This is how a lot of these Telegram games are and stuff. They're not completely unfun to play. And a lot of them do have some kind of token associated with it or something. But the earning rewards are dismal at best. Mostly they want you to buy things for the game. And you're far more likely to spend more money on there if you are the type of person to do that than you would ever make from, playing the game and earning the token, because earning the token is such a little amount, right? I've been messing around with this for a hot minute. And then all of a sudden the project bottom drops out and then the developers stop caring and then all of a sudden you have nothing. So I would be very interested where PokeQuest is right now at this moment. And let me go into my options and make it so you guys can actually hear the volume. That would be a good idea. Output. Why do they have to give me two of these? I never know which one to click. All right, back to where we are. And my point here is a lot of this is just too basic to actually catch anybody's attention, right? And they're tap to earn, which means a lot of times the playability is super limited, and it's more like go to this thing every 6 hours and click like 5 buttons and like you're supposedly like playing a game. Like this whole training, right? Like this isn't fun. That's not fun. Now, if I gotta do that to make more money every day, like I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna sit there and click that button all day long if I'm actually making some money from it. But it's not fun. I think that's just where we go wrong. Anyways, the long story here, I'm gonna move on. As I was saying, I was gonna go quickly, but then now we're talking about gaming, and now they got me sucked in there. But is that you go on there and the games, none of these games are up to par. Panzer Dog is pretty decent. Even Maddle is a heck of a lot more fun, even though it's two-dimensional. It's way more fun than a lot of other games are. Very few good games. That's why that off the grid is fire. I really am looking for somebody who has a PlayStation 5 and can download Off the Grid and then like show us some actual play and how it works and stuff. That would be really awesome. So market cap 2.6 million, right? Yeah, 2.6 million. I don't know why I was doubting myself so hard there. 10 billion tokens, circulating supply 5.3, outstanding supply is only 5.6 billion tokens. It's not that bad. Mode is an interesting project. It'll be difficult not to spend a little bit of time on this. It's kind of sad that it's down 99.1%, but it's all about where it came out at. The market cap is tiny on this thing. I did a Pre-recorded deep dive of this project, kind of like when it first came out. Ethereum, Base, Optimism, I think is when it first came out. When was that? Yeah, 2024 it was, for sure. Let's go take a look at their Twitter, and they're an AI infrastructure. They're a layer 2 smart contract and DeFi AI, or Def AI, as they called it. So let's go over to Twitter. They have 254.3 thousand followers. Pinned post from December 18th says 15,000 impression. It's the same old story. We're deep diving together for a lot of different reasons. To have the knowledge, to have the history, to have the understanding of how things got to where they are helps us understand to where things might go next, and where attention has been sometimes can rhyme with where attention will go later on as things upgrade, right, and evolve. So here is kind of the same old story. A lot of followers joined in 2023, but it just feels like the attention, 15,000 impressions since 12 days, is a little lackluster, and it has the attention gone away from Optimism Superchain. That's what we're kind of here to find out. To everyone convinced, large language models just lose money trading, so it makes more sense to counter trade them. With Mode Volume 3 AI Trading Agent, you can create your own AI trading agent in under 60 seconds and set it up to counter trade its own logic. So wait, you build an agent and then you just have it counter trade itself? Why wouldn't I just build the, and I'm probably totally messing that up, but why wouldn't I just build the agent to do like what I wanted it to do in the first place? I do love the idea of like building my own little bot, because I know exactly what me and Bankroll were talking about it. I know exactly what I would put in there. He's in the Discord charting. Yeah, we're all these games. My son has one. He's back next week. He'll have to remind me underground. Yeah, if he could download that. And I mean, it looks like a pretty good game. It seems like it's on par with Call of Duty and a lot of those other games. Same idea. And maybe he would enjoy playing it. But either way, I'd like to just see what it was and see how integrated the NFT marketplace is with the actual in-game on PlayStation 5. And then, just delete it after and free up the space. So there you go. They just walked you through. I can't hear it, what's going on. I already ported it over to you. I don't know if it's just playing music. I don't know if there's a guy talking while I'm talking over him, so you have no idea what he's saying. I don't know. I don't know if counter trading AI bots is really a good idea. But what happens when you got the AI bots counter trading the counter traded AI bots, and then you're just right back to the original trading. I don't know. I think that's really cool. Let's go ahead and go over to their website. So Mode, dominant DeFi with AI powered apps and agents, or dominate DeFi. Not that they've already dominated it, but they want to dominate. I digress. Mode layer 2 and perpetual DEX scaled DeFi to billions through user on-chain agents and AI-powered financial applications. I mean, why didn't this get some hype when all the decentralized exchanges were pumping, right? Let's go back to that chart. Boy, that chart is flat. I mean, like, it's to zero. Let's look at price. What is the all-time price of this thing? Excuse me. 14 cents, right? Man, this thing just got crushed into the ground. Is there any value here? Now, this is completely speculation. I don't know, but there is like a whole thing when a project builds stuff that's really cool, but they don't integrate their actual token into what they built enough, and then people have no reason. They have no reason to hold their token. Like, they come over here, maybe connect and use all their different functions, but like they don't really have to hold the token, right? Stake mode for VE mode and earn OP. 68% APY. What? Mode stakers earn OP rewards, which can be claimed every 2 weeks and can use their VE mode for vote on the apps. Yeah, I don't understand this whole governance thing, right? Like I get how it works. I understand what the point of it is. If you're a hardcore mode maxi, like maybe you care to go, like maybe if you're a developer, you're a whale. And this is why the governance and stuff just gets eaten up a lot of times by whales, is because only people who have a stake in it are going to take part in the governance. Like it sounds really cool. I mean, you could even apply this to like the American government and the governments that have democracy, I guess, if you want to say that. But my point here is this involvement in governance, whether it's your government or if it's a crypto project, like that takes time. Like if they put together a proposal and I'm just like, I have $300 in mode, like I'm not going to go read that proposal. I'm not going to like stake specifically so I can get VE mode, which is the government's. Usually when you see this VE in front of what would normally be the token, it's a governance token, right? And use it for voting power in proposals. Why would I do that? I'm not going to take the time out of my day to read a proposal over on mode. And then you amplify that. Like say say I had $10,000 in the market and that was split up between even just 10 projects evenly. Like you think I'm reading all those proposals? It's just kind of like it takes a certain person. Now, if I had $100 million, right? And I had, that split up in 10 different projects and I had a huge stake and a lot to lose. All right, now I might have my secretary read the proposals and tell me, no, I'm just joking. Then I might read the proposals and actually care what they say. So this is how governance really gets taken over by the whales. I don't know why I decided to go on that rant, but I just felt like ranting there for a minute. So trade perps native on mode with low fees. So this is a perpetual DEX. Can we actually see access is denied, bro? Just straight cold like that. They even did me in like small letters. Like they're like, read this. Okay, so I can't use any of it. That's beautiful. It's one of the beautiful things about living in America. And the awful regulatory framework that was the SEC and their tyrannical nature that they went on rampage for, most of crypto's existence. Nobody wants to allow you access. I don't know, where do you have to live to get access to mode? Because the whole building bots thing was really cool. All right, Eternity chain. That sounds like something Mike Tyson should never say. Has been rebranded to Epic Chain. So this is the old contracts. This is not even worth looking at. We'll do ourselves a solid here, and we'll just skip that because we should be looking at Epic Chain. Still has 1.1 million. And then when you get into these, I'm not going to lie, a lot of these are very tiny projects. We don't have to look at all of this. This stream is already super long. We'll take a look at Super Seed real briefly, like literally real briefly. I know I keep saying that, but layer 2, it's a roll up, and there is less than $1 million in it. Now, these are the type of projects that honestly, if I thought Optimism was about to get a lot of attention and do something great, like say Optimism, the actual project, was about to roll something amazing out, then you'd see some money trickle into probably some of these lower coins. But without that, probably never going to happen. It might fade off into irrelevance. Who knows? So GainSwift. I've just been really curious about the Optimism Superchain. And it was about time that we went over it. So 556,000 in market cap. It's on Arbitrum. It's memes, GameFi, modular blockchain. Sounds like it should be cutting edge, but it's probably not. They probably don't even have a game. That's what happens most of the time. GS Play, Go Bucks, Lockup, Chain. Like, where's the game? Like your GameFi, right? Your GameFi. So where's the game? A launcher. That's what I want to see. GS Force AI is here. Is that the game? Get ready for the ultimate gaming experience with our newest launcher app. With AI integration, we're breaking barriers and unlocking endless possibilities for utility in the gaming industry. Download it today. Okay, that actually sounds really cool. And I'll leave that up because this is a tiny project. And I'm not going to download anything off their website without researching it first. And I'm not going to bore you guys with me researching it right now. It is on Arbitrum, an Arbitrum scan. Now, one thing that I think is really interesting is Arbitrum is a layer 2, just like Base is in Polygon and, of course, Optimism. I don't hear much about Arbitrum, like at all. All right, let's see. So my son is back Wednesday. You'll have to remind me. He streams NBA with his friends, actually. Maybe he can stream it for us. That would be really cool. I would definitely tune into that. NBA as on PlayStation 5. Yep, I understand. I'm sure he would be happy to make a stream of it, whichever the name was. It's Off the Grid is the project. Guns is the like crypto platform that's associated with it. And Melissa says she's back. All right. Where are we even at? I got to go to Discord and see how long we've been streaming because I don't really feel like doing the math right this second. 3 hours and 18 minutes. It's been a while, guys. Maybe I'm making up for some of the days where we were a little shorter and we had the holidays and stuff going on and I couldn't stream for whatever reason. Hope everybody's enjoyed the stream. You know what time it is. It is time for me to literally rest my brain for a minute and play a game, right? So where are we at? Mattel. All right. I'm going to play a round of this while we're chilling. Nice. I meant to plug my phone in a minute ago, and now it died, so I don't have the chat in front of me. Let's get that back going. I meant to have it on the charger. I'll have the chat back rolling in a minute. So I guess I'm just going to talk because I can't read the chat. But of course, now we have moved into the underground crypto hangout part of the stream. Usually comes at about the hour and a half to 2 hour mark. I don't know if I could do a 3.5, 4 hour stream every night, but I'd like to think that I could do it. And you know, it's really funny. Yesterday, like today, I actually had to work my handyman company a little bit. When I do, you know, don't feel bad for me. It's very fruitful financially, but it definitely takes away from, you know, the other business I run and all the other. It's one more thing to take up way too many hours in my day and take me away from a lot of the other things that I need to do. And yes, I'm just kind of talking at you whatever comes on my mind because we're just hanging out, right? Anyways, what was I getting at? Yeah, I didn't get to be as involved in looking at things today as I would have liked to have been. I guess that's what I was trying to say. Oh no, what I was gonna say is that. So of course, before the stream, I was super tired, and so you know, I just prayed to the Lord to give me the strength to do the stream. I did the same thing yesterday because yesterday I had to go to my wife's sister, who lives about an hour and 30, 45 minutes away. Obviously, there and back, and then we had to do stuff while we were there. And it was a great time, but by the time I got back, I was very tired. Same thing, did that, and all of a sudden I got on the stream, and I tell you, man, he moves when you ask him. And so I just want to encourage anybody who needs that boost in their job and anything that they're doing, you know, reach out to him, and you will be very surprised by the reaction and the experience that you get. But yeah, I can't really explain all of the hype and energy that I have all of a sudden. I barely even had any coffee today. And there's a lot of days I don't have much coffee at all. Oof. I did have my apple cider vinegar drink, but that was when I first got up today. That was a hot minute ago. That was a while ago. So anyways, I said I would share why I had so much energy. Just going ahead and doing that. Dang, I'm just getting whooped in this game right now. It's low-key making me really mad. For some reason in this game, if you do not get a couple good upgrades, like right off the bat, you just like are struggling like the whole time. And then you get these big congestions of these monsters chasing you. And then when he goes flying through them, he sends them flying everywhere. And then all of a sudden, they're bumping into you and you're dead. And man, I am slow as heck right now. I gotta grab all of this stuff, even if it's not much. Anything feels like a waste. Oh, come on. I missed that box. I needed that box bad. I don't know. I don't know if I'm winning this one. Getting absolutely cooked. Oh, yeah. Now they're throwing these things at me everywhere. Not a good sign. Where's the chest? I need some health. I didn't even get an upgrade for the health steal. Panic. There's nowhere to run and there's mobs everywhere. Okay, I need this. I need this. Oh, can I get it? Oh, that was like the worst thing ever. I needed a health potion. All right. Well, that game made me mad. I don't want to play that game no more. Let's get this phone to come back on so we can see the chat. That's the move right here. All right, let's definitely play a round of Panzer Dogs. I love how my phone has just decided it's not working, or YouTube's not working, one or the other. Cool, let's hop on here. All right, what do we got? Melissa says, I'm enjoying the stream. You rest that high IQ crypto brain of yours. You truly earned it today. Hey, I appreciate you saying that. The Lord listen. He just wants to be heard, I'm pretty sure is what he means. It works like magic. Yes, the Lord is awesome. Spirits listen indeed. I do the same. That's one nasty snowman. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't bring up that stuff. People, I'm not worried about it. I don't care about none of that. If you don't want to hear it, plug your ears. That's all I got to say. I don't think there's anybody here like that. Don't get me wrong. Dang, I just walked straight into that rocket. Such a better game, right? Just leagues better than how am I not hitting this guy? Lag. So much better than that Mantle game. And who knows, that Mantle game probably like a failed project. Where's that airdrop? That's what I want to know. Cook him. See, what is that, a lag? Like, how am I not hitting him? Like, somebody explain that to me. How am I not hitting that person with my flamethrower when they're literally smack in front of me and I'm literally firing it? Like, make it make sense. That's the one thing, like, sometimes the flamethrower on this game, like, sometimes it really connects and sometimes it doesn't do a damn thing. And it's really annoying. Blues guy, where you at? This guy's cooking you. You're sitting duck. Yeah, he's disconnected. I had a feeling that's what was happening there. Need health badly. Like, how am I not hitting that guy? It's crazy. He's like covered in fire completely, and yet I'm not hitting him at all. Love that. To the point where I'm like, I don't even know if I want that fire. What do they have on this side? Oh, come here. Got him. 8-4. I think these games have it out for you tonight. Lagging too much. Yep. Happy New Year's Eve, guys. Yeah, happy New Year's Eve to everybody. If you're here right now on the stream, to me, you're the real MVP. I don't even know if it's worth re-inviting you tonight because, man, we've had a great stream. And I still feel great. I'm not even tired yet. But I know most of you guys probably are really tired. So thank you for being here. Make sure you hit that like button. And I will catch everybody tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going over the Flare ecosystem. Me and Blues Guy need to have a chat. Not for me, not New Year's. Oh, Blues Guy is saying it's not New Year's for him. He's on that Ethiopian calendar. So for him, it's the year 2014. I'm just messing around. So yeah, I let's see. Yeah, what time are we trying to have a chat tomorrow, Blues Guy? What time is good for you? New Year's first day of spring. Hey, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Anyways, text me. Let me know what time is good for you to talk tomorrow. I've got a little bit of time. We could chat on the phone. I don't know how on the computer I could be, but I could be in the voice chat on my phone maybe, and we could talk about stuff. If you want to just tell me more about Flare and its ecosystem and how it all works, it's very much up to you. But other than that, stay underground, stay crypto. The only true Ethiopian, yes, 13 months. Oh, yeah, I got you. I know all about that one. If I knew how to end my own stream, I would do it in a more cool fashion. I have too many tabs open. Noon my time. So what is that my time, Blues Guy? If you could save me the conversion, I could figure it out using ChatGPT, I'm sure. But yeah, let me know what it is my time. I'm waiting for you to reply before I actually end the stream here. Just looking at the stream analytics here. It's crazy that it says that the highest congruent viewers was 10 and we had 11, if not we had like 12 viewers in most of the stream. So that's a little hard to imagine that we only ever went to 10 when I know we went higher than that. These analytics be a little bit off. Now, I know you guys can't see the analytics. Said I speak parabola. Okay. So what time is noon my time? 2 p.m. your time. Perfect. That works out great. Let's do that. All right. Now I'm going to actually end the stream. Blues Guy, if you want to chat, give me a call. Otherwise, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And shout out to Bankroll doing his thing in the Discord. Let me check him out real quick. What has he got going on here? He's got his own channel now, and he is just pumping it out. I see Blues Guys over there talking. I may be in and out of there a little bit. Feel free to use that voice channel, everybody. Stay underground, stay crypto. I'll see you in the next stream. What's with the question marks, Blues Guy? I don't know what the question marks are. You buy muffins and coffee? Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Legit no idea what you're talking about. Text me. I'm going to hop off. Have a great night, everybody. Crypto Ron out.